quite like Italy.
Look how busy it is. I love it.
The landscapes, the people, the history.
It's unbelievable.
And of course, the most amazing food.
Oh. I'm just having a moment.
I love it, and I always have done.
This is like my idea of heaven.
Great food here isn't about Michelin-starred chefs, it's about home-cooked recipes. So in this series, I'm going right to the heart of Italian cooking.
Oh, so good.
To the mamas and the nonnas of Italy.
These are some of the best home-cooked recipes in the world.
They've perfected recipes handed down over generations.
I'm just doing what I'm told. I love it.
I'm travelling far and wide to see what secrets I can learn from these true masters of the kitchen.
Forza, forza! Belli, bravi.
That is a game changer.
And I'll be showing you how to cook up delicious Italian dishes
With flavour like this, you're going to go nuts.
that use the nonna's way to transform the simple into the sublime.
I'm going to have to stop myself eating. It's so good.
This week, I'm exploring coastal cooking on one of Italy's tiniest islands, uncovering the cherished recipe of a 92-year-old nonna.
Se ti è piaciuta questa ricetta, dillo a tutti quanti.
I give you my barbecued squid with a spectacular caper salsa,
It's the islands in a plate.
and cook up a trip down memory lane with my old mentor, Gennaro.
Yeah, that's so sumptuous.
Plus, matriarch Marina entrusts me with her legendary family feast,
I love it. It's so delicious.
inspiring my melt-in-the-mouth chicken showstopper.
It's a brilliant feasting dish.
Me and my best buddy and mentor, Gennaro Contaldo, are in the awe-inspiring Aeolian Islands to discover authentic island recipes untouched by time.
Look at that, Tina.
So beautiful!
Centuries of seclusion from the mainland have seen the islanders develop their own distinct style of cooking, using ingenious combinations of their spectacular local produce.
Look at these two volcanoes, Gina.
It's incredible.
The 7 Aeolian Islands were submarine volcanoes that emerged from the sea around 700,000 years ago and are scattered just north of Sicily. Gennaro's taken me to the archipelago's food capital, Salina.
Oh, my Lord. The sea,
Yes.
the mountains. Look at this. Come on.
It's so beautiful.
Got like essentially forest up there. And you know, this is one of the only islands of the Aeolians that has like natural spring water. That's why it's so green. It's a lot greener than the others.
That's good. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cooking on the island is a joy. Its crystal clear water and rich volcanic soil produce a sensational store cupboard.
I can smell the sea. I can smell the flower. I can smell the herbs.
But it's the creative flair of Salina's nonnas that turn simple back garden ingredients into mind-blowing recipes. And I'm here to learn their tricks.
Yeah, we're down here.
We're off to meet a legendary lady who at 92 is still farming capers.
Nonna Franchina!
Sì,
Dove sta?
Buonasera!
buonasera, buonasera,
Eccola
benvenuta a
qua.
casa mia.
Bless you, bless you. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao, benvenuta a casa mia.
Sì, sì.
Nonna Franchina runs a small-scale caper farm from her back garden. Salina is home to some of the best capers in the world. Everyone is picked by hand, and right now, it's harvest time.
So here's the caper plant and the little berries here.
E questo si allunga.
And which ones are the best one, Nonna?
Queste qua, queste che abbiamo noi, si chiamano
Piccola.
noccioline. Poi lui si fa grosso
You've got to pick them at the right time.
e si chiama capperone.
Otherwise
Quando-
they get
e
sort of
quando
too
è
big,
grosso,
sort of floury.
capperone non è buono.
These culinary heroes are actually tiny flower buds found on the caper bush, a plant that grows all over Africa, Asia and the Mediterranean.
Così e mettere qua. Così,
That's
e mettere
beautiful.
qua.
She's picking capers, putting them in a little pinny at the front.
The capers are dried in the sun, then painstakingly packed in salt to preserve them.
Cos'è cuciniamo?
I totani ripieni facciamo stasera. Per me sono la mia specialità.
From her.
Facciamo
Beautiful.
stasera.
Can't wait to taste it.
Nonna Franchina wants to teach me her very favourite recipe, using the best of Salina's land and sea. Squid with the most amazing caper stuffing in a tangy sweet tomato and caper sauce.
92, Gennaro. So when did she first start cooking,
Questo
Gennaro?
così, vedi?
Quando è cominciata a cucinare? A che età che è cominciata a cucinare?
A 10 anni.
82 years of cooking on this lovely planet. That's a lot of experience. Nonna? Ok.
Sì. Per noi è una cosa deliziosa. Mio nonno che andava a pescare, ragazzi, sai che facciamo domani? Tuffato, facciamo i totani ripieni.
So we're going in with breadcrumbs.
First lesson from this master of the kitchen is how to make the caper stuffing.
So 3 eggs.
Formaggio pecorino dove l'ha messo?
Pecorino?
mia figlia?
No problemo.
Parmigiano mai.
Parmesan's lovely, but the pecorino's got the tang,
It is.
the freshness.
A sprinkle of parsley, and then the magical moment. Caper time.
Are these her capers?
Queste che capperi sono? Che capperi sono queste?
Quelli che abbiamo visto noi.
May I eat one, mangiare?
Puoi mangiare, puoi mangiare.
This is my first caper from the island. Oh my God, Gennaro, it's a different level.
At different levels.
They're fat, they're juicy, they're perfumed, they're meaty, and they're just from her back garden.
Capers are a real fast track to flavour. Just a tablespoon will turn this stuffing into something really punchy and fragrant.
Ora l'aglio,
This is olive oil from the island. Uno,
2.
look at the teapot. I just love it. I want to take her home.
Sì. C'è il mio olio. Pure noi facciamo l'olio.
So this is oil from her
Sì,
trees.
sì, sì, tutto qua.
This is garlic from her garden, capers from her garden, bread that she's made, pecorino from the island, squid from the sea.
After a splash of water and a good old mix-up, we're ready to stuff the squid.
You know, the squid is the perfect receptacle to stuff stuff in. Do you pack it in tight or keep it loose, Nonna?
Ah, quanto rifai il ripieno?
Non pieno, normale. Lo spingo un po' giù. Ha visto?
Sì.
Push it in. I just love her
Poi
hands.
questo deve venire.
You know, all those years of cooking to learn from the nonnas. What a joy.
Non deve stringere tanto.
Every time I stuff it, she corrects it. Come si chiude the torta?
Apri qua.
Needle and thread. No way. I've never seen this in a million years.
L'ago e il cotone come si usava ai tempi dei nonni.
A lot of chefs use toothpicks, you know, cocktail sticks, but she don't like it because she says stuff still comes out.
I do a toothpick. Learn again.
Can you show me, Nonna?
Ci può far vedere a Jamie come fa a chiudere?
Ecco.
Ecco qua.
So I've never seen this before.
Wow. I love how carefully she's locked in the flavour. I can tell this is going to be a real treat.
So much care, love, attentions.
Next, we're moving on to the sweet, tangy tomato sauce.
This one?
Quella misura?
Sì, piccola, sì.
1 red onion is added to the olive oil, followed by cherry tomatoes. And then 1 humdinger of a nonna tip.
She's squeezing the tomatoes underwater so the pips don't go over everyone. Brilliant tip. I will use that forevermore. So this is fatto in casa.
Sì.
This is her homemade passata, again from her garden. And this is very traditional. Gennaro used to do this as a kid. You basically take beer bottles and recycle
Poi
them.
cominciare a mettere.
See?
Sì.
Sieving the tomatoes to make passata is a classic Italian trick for dealing with the season's glut and bottling up that summery tomato flavour.
If you smell this, it smells of sunshine.
E buonissimi sono.
Okay. 2 tablespoons of capers go in.
It couldn't be simpler.
Questo.
It's just like the best, freshest, the most gorgeous tomato sauce.
Because I can smell it's the sun in a pot.
But this is why people get sort of like excited about Nonna's cooking, man, because you'd want to come home to that. So in with this one.
To keep the squid tender, the parcels are slowly poached in the sensational tomato sauce.
Profumo, fantastico, Nonna. Yeah,
È
fantastic.
meglio della carne.
The squid blip away for about 20 minutes before they're sliced and served with spaghetti, lashings of sauce, and for a final flash of flavour, some extra capers.
This is a complete privilege. The smell that I'm getting is incredible. Capers to finish, basil to finish.
Ecco, questo è il pesto.
Finito. Gennaro, bless you. Oh, look at that. Oh, nonna.
Oh,
Fantastico.
che c'è?
Oh my God.
Delicioso. Oh,
Che c'è?
Oh my God.
delicioso. Ottimo.
Ah, ti piace?
Fantastico.
Buonissimo.
Buona vita, è venuta la
I'm just having a moment. So good.
Voi mangiate dopo.
The pasta. Nonna just wants to feed everyone. She wants to feed me, Gennaro. She wants to feed the whole crew. This is what nonnas do. They're feeders. It's so good. The pecorino with the capers and the garlic and the breadcrumbs. It's just soaked up all that lovely tomato ragu. Gennaro, will you ever forget this recipe?
Never.
Ma lui è giovane e deve mangiare.
I'm not that young.
Hai quattro figli. Ma tu quattro
Cinque.
figli? Cinque figli?
Sì.
Quando vai a casa un altro? Un maschio o femmina?
Really? Another one?
No, quando vai
Ancora?
a casa.
I'm gonna have a little bit more
Un
of this.
maschio o femmina?
Gennaro, she's telling me to have another baby.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to stop myself eating. It's so good.
Se ti è piaciuta questa ricetta, dillo a tutti quanti, che io sono contentissima.
Thank you. Grazie mille.
Prego.
Grazie.
nonna.
Grazie.
You are the best.
Frankina's authentic recipe is exactly what I was hoping to find. The way she used those outrageous capers to turn simple seafood into something sublime has blown my mind. The islanders have spent centuries exploring creative ways to combine their outstanding local produce, passing down and perfecting recipes through the generations. The next day, me and Gennaro are buzzing with inspiration, and we can't wait to get cracking on a recipe using that epic combo of island flavours.
Me and Gennaro are going to cook the most delicious squid dish inspired by Nonna Frankina.
Yes.
How good was that?
She was unbelievable.
This grilled squid with a lively caper salsa is super easy and guaranteed to get those taste buds zinging.
Of course, we're bigging up capers, mint, anchovies, lemon juice, olive oil. How should we describe it? It's kind of like an Italian salsa, cum sauce, cum dressing. Fair?
Yeah, fair.
Gennaro's going to get a couple of lemons and he's going to squeeze it into this bowl. And this platter is going to kind of serve a purpose because everything that comes off of that grill is going to get tossed through this bowl to really capture every single bit of flavour that we put on there.
Come on, squeeze it, squeeze it.
Top up the juice of 2 lemons with the same amount of extra virgin olive oil. Throw in 3 cloves of chopped garlic and a fresh chilli.
Now, the nice thing is if garlic's one of the first ingredients to go in, the lemon juice kind of starts to pickle the garlic a little bit, takes the kind of heat out of it. The next ingredient will be the ingredient of the island, capers. The flavour's amazing, isn't it?
It is in this, goes almost for everything.
In the base of fish or meat stews, fantastic. They often come in brine. I think the ones in salt are the best, don't you?
They're the best indeed. Look, I got some inside here. This is what actually look like.
Wow. Look how amazing that is. So that's the caper flower. Truly beautiful. And these leaves are very good as well. They can be pickled
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
and they're delightful. And there's the berries. So, of course, you can let them get bigger or smaller. Isn't it amazing to see them in the place where they come from?
Yeah.
Capers preserved in salt like these ones need a little soak and rinse.
Right, put them into some fresh water and let them sit for an hour, and then you can squeeze the salt out. When the excess salt comes out,
So good.
you get the perfume. Look at those.
Little pearl from the islands.
And then Gennaro is just going to lightly chop them.
Next, mash our 4 anchovies to give the salsa an amazing depth of flavour. And for texture, I'm adding a handful of chopped pistachios.
We're chopping everything around the same sort of size, okay? You know, pistachios being used, you know, not as a sprinkle, but as an ingredient. It's going to work really well.
I see.
In you go, big boy.
Right.
The last thing that we're going to do to this salsa is mint. We're going to chop that up so fresh.
Smell it, smell it, smell it, smell it.
Whack in half a bunch of chopped mint, Top up with oil and give it a whirl.
I've got the squid here. This is literally off the boat from the fishermen. But get down, you fishmongers, get some nice fresh squid. It's been gutted and skinned. I'm going to show you a technique to make this squid grab onto flavour. I'm going to run my knife down the length of the squid, like this, to open it out like a book. It's very simple. I'm just going to score the squid at an angle, and you don't want to go all the way through, and you simply go crisscross. It's such an easy preparation, and it turns a piece of squid into something so beautiful and so amazing. And I think it's equally as fascinating as Nonna Franchina with that needle and thread, right? She was trapping stuff on the inside. We're doing the reverse, trapping the flavors on the outside. It's not a hard preparation. It's not a chefy preparation. It's just a little bit of crisscrossing. And when that cooks, it will start to fold up, and those little kind of crisscrosses will open up like a flower and grab hold of Gennaro's salsa.
Just get inside.
It's going to be amazing.
It's time to cook.
I'm going to put the bigger one first. Straight on.
I fired up a barbecue, but you could cook this in a hot pan or griddle pan.
And then we're going to put our legs on.
To keep the squid tender, you have to go low and slow like Nonna Franchina, or hot and fast. This baby's ready in a minute.
And it will start to roll up. Look at that. Come on. That squid is done now, right? Very, very quick. Now, as soon as the squid comes off the grill, it goes in to our little dressing here. And you can try and unwind it, and you can put some in. Look at that. So the legs, they'll go in as well. And you just turn it, and those little scores just grab onto that fantastic salsa. Look at that.
Leave the squid to cool slightly so it really soaks up the flavours of that salsa. And grab yourself some juicy tomatoes.
And I'm using these gorgeous, big beef tomatoes. You use whatever you like. Just do me a favour, make sure they're ripe and they haven't come from the fridge. My beautiful wife always puts the tomatoes in the fridge, and it's, you know, I've got over it, but, you know, have them on the windowsill. Always better flavour. You can go cherries if you want. Look at the colours, though.
Slice through the squid to really show off the vibrant, tangy and fresh caper salsa.
The tomatoes are like your edible plate. And again, we dress them in that amazing dressing. That is for you.
Do you know what? It's the islands in a plate.
It definitely is. Right, come on, big boy.
Yeah, shall we tuck in?
We're going to tuck in.
Oh, my God. Mm. The squid is so tender.
And the capers are so fresh. The chilli gives it that lovely little hum. You know, the squid has grabbed hold of all of that gorgeous dressing. If you look, the dressing's all the way through.
Yeah.
The little curly-whirly of the squid. Go on, get some flavours of Salina on your own dinner table. Delicious.
Back on the trail of the island's treasured recipes, me and Gennaro are exploring Lingua, a small town in the very south. We've heard of a little place that's rumoured to serve some of the best granita the country has to offer. This frozen sweet treat is Italy's answer to sorbet, and it gets lapped up morning, noon and night.
Io devo far assaggiare tutti ormai.
Pesce.
Uno.
Yeah.
Peach. And it's got skin through it as well. And you know how the skin is like a little bit more sour?
Pesca.
Pesca, si.
78-year-old Alfredo has been serving granita lovingly crafted from the island's magical produce for nearly 50 years.
So what's that, the mulberry?
Cos'è questo?
Jersey.
Jersey, yes, mulberry. Go. You can give me another one.
Oh, that is
Pochino.
delicious. So, this is mulberry from the island. Mulberry is one of my favourite soft fruits in the whole wide world. It's amazing.
Cos'è questo?
Assaggiala.
Try first.
Poi tu devi dire che cosa
And then
è.
you tell me.
Almond.
Mamma mia.
Granita originates from Arab rule over 2,000 years ago.
A traditional granita would be a chunk or an ice block from the mountains, dragged down, and they'd shave it like shards. And then traditionally they just put, you know, street sellers would put like lemon juice over it or citrus. You know what I love about these are so sensitively the flavours. It's not overly sweet. You can taste everything. I think whenever you buy something that's pre-done in a factory, they always chuck a load more glucose in it and sugar because it kind of keeps it smoother for longer, months and months and months.
Quanto le fai?
Tutti i giorni facciamo tante noi, non è che uno, non uno solo, ne facciamo tante.
That's how. If you're making it every day, you can make it with less sugar. You tell him that's the nicest. That's the nicest.
Guarda.
That's the nicest one I've had in Italy.
Quale ti è piaciuta di più?
Guarda, tutto è piaciuto. Sai,
Sì.
noi siamo in giro e proviamo le graniti gelate. Questa è la migliore che abbiamo provato.
Io lo so.
Complimenti.
Lo so, grazie.
C'ho le mani che non le
Ma
voglio
io
dare.
ora te ne faccio un bicchiere, probabilmente tu la mangi.
Sì, sì, la mangio un pochino.
Aspetta,
I've got to have that mulberry and the almond.
Mamma mia. I love the way he spoons in with the lead all instead of the ice cream cone.
tu vuoi mandorla?
Bakewell
Sì,
tart,
mandorlo.
frozen.
Yeah.
So,
I love it. Shall we go to that?
I know it's really bad.
Yeah.
Can I order another one?
Guarda, questo è cattivo. Sai cosa
I know that's
metto?
like.
Se può avere ancora un'altra.
Sometimes you just got to be greedy.
Può dare un'altra coppa? Sì, perché anche... Sì.
Let's do it, mate. That's amazing. What a joy.
I just love it.
While Alfredo keeps the Sunseekers happy with the finest granita I've ever tasted, the sparkling sea delivers a daily serving of the most sensational seafood. Fresh anchovies are in season right now, and I know they're Gennaro's absolute favourite. So I want to make him a very special treat.
So I'm going to make the most delicious little gift for this fella. He loves anchovies. That was the food of his childhood. And also, Gennaro is the anchovy expert. So it's got to be good if I'm going to impress him. I want to cook it for him and get a big old smile out of him.
For a real treat, I'm serving fresh anchovies simply grilled on toast with glorious simple flavours of fennel, chilli and lemon.
So these are fresh anchovies. You may have only ever seen the ones in jars that are salted. You could do with sardines, you could do with any small white fish. So here we have some beautiful anchovies. They've been cleaned by the fishmonger and they're incredible. They cook so quickly, they're fresh, they're clean. They're just really flaky and delicious. You can have them raw. There's a million ways of how to cook them. So many dishes.
And lucky for us, they're best friends with one of my favourite spices.
Fennel seeds, love these. Lovely green fennel seeds, and they're beautiful. About a heaped teaspoon, right? Quite bold. And then there's chilli. These are fairly hot, so I'm gonna kind of go easy. So just have a little sprinkle. By keeping the fennel seeds whole and the flakes of chilli quite big, you know, it kind of gives you a pop of flavour. You know, it doesn't kind of completely cover it.
Drizzle with extra virgin olive oil and finally grate over a little lemon zest.
I've got some fennel tops. You know, you could use any herb, you know, but fennel's really, really good. I'm just going to rip that up in my hand. So I'm just going to move these anchovies around, just so those flavours start to mix a little bit. Once you've done that, grab yourself a loaf of bread. Take any bread you can get, something hopefully that's a little bit spongy. And I'm just going to take the crust off both sides. Just carefully get your knife, trim off the base, just rotate it around. It doesn't matter what shape your toast is, just whip it up. Now, see that? Then we've got this sponge in here. Simple.
Grease up the pan and pop in your bread.
I'm just going to gently toss up these anchovies just to distribute all of that lovely flavour. Look at that. And then all I'm going to do is lay the anchovies in and around this beautiful bread.
Anchovies are full of natural, healthy oils. And here, not a drop is lost, as the bread acts like a sponge to soak them all up.
The next bit's almost quite brutal. I'm gonna have it in the pan here, and I'm gonna just put my body weight in it. And really push with all my weight it in. And you might think, well, why has he done that? Because that was all lovely and delicate, and now he's just kind of ruined it. I haven't, right? Because now there's no kind of difference between the bread and the fish. It's just one. I can whack that in the oven, but then you've got a soggy bottom. So I'm going to start it on the hob.
Pop it in a pan on a medium-low heat.
So look, if you have a little look here, as soon as you see that golden on the bottom, turn it off.
It's going in the wood oven here, but simply whack it under a hot grill at home. After a couple of minutes, you'll get a crispy top to go with that crunchy bottom.
That is the dream. What you can do is just nick some fennel tops. You can just sprinkle some fresh ones on top, just to contrast the cooked ones.
Yeah.
And these are fennel flowers. You can just literally grab those like that and go like
Yes.
that. And then we can just put that in and around. What a joy. Beautiful. And look at that. Hot, crispy deliciousness. Gennaro, pass me that big chopper. So I'm just going to clank it up almost like a little pizza. Yeah, beautiful. Look at that. It's crispy. Come on, big boy. Hold that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one to get you going. But before you do that...
Oh, it's my friend, the lemon. Oh, my God.
That's so sumptuous.
Oh, I can sing.
I have been known to make a mighty mean fish finger butty, but you can't compare the deliciousness of fresh anchovies. They're a joy. If you've never tried them before, you're missing out.
My succulent anchovies with little pops of fennel and warm chilli on crunchy toast. What's the anchovy master's final verdict?
You shocked me as well, how good it is. And I thought I can do everything about anchovies. Do you know what? You've done something especially the best.
You like it?
Bless you. I finished mine straight away, one bite.
You breathed it.
Thank you for making this for me.
Our journey to uncover Salina's cherished family recipes continues on the wilder north coast of the island, in the sleepy village of Malfa.
Ciao, Francesco!
Look at these beautiful flowers, you know.
It's so beautiful.
I love it here.
Salina is the greenest of the 7 Aeolian islands, home to over 400 different plants and a treasure trove of the most glorious ingredients.
So fertile, the land is incredible and so green. Where we're going now, you just love it.
We're off to meet the matriarch of one of the island's biggest families. Gennaro tells me she's the master of turning humble backyard ingredients into awesome family feasts.
Yeah. Woo. Right, we're here, big boy. Nonna Marina!
Buongiorno!
Tutto bene?
Come va? Tutto bene?
Piacere, bene,
Piacere,
bene.
Marina.
Marina. Mwah.
Nonna Marina is 72 and a magician in the kitchen. She feeds her 10 children and countless grandchildren almost entirely on what she's growing in the garden. And today we're lucky enough to join the weekly family gathering.
Cos'è che cuciniamo oggi?
Oggi facciamo il coniglio, però due cose a parte.
So this is so exciting. 2 different types, massive family, and a beautiful view. Come on, look at this.
Possiamo andare?
Sì, let's do it.
non ci
Cucina,
abbiamo-
cucina.
Nonna's making her legendary family lunch 2 ways. One rabbit dish, which is sticky and sweet with wine, and the other light and creamy with lemon.
Look at this.
Oh my God.
Visto?
Oh my God, look at that.
E allora?
Look at this lemon.
Rabbit is a really popular meat on the island, and I love it too, and I can't wait to get stuck in. Nonna kicks off her recipe by placing the whole jointed rabbit along with the offal in each pan.
Jamie ha detto vuole solo imparare. Lui fa il comì, che si dice.
Metti l'olio?
Sì.
Olio? No, questo è vino.
Vino, scusa.
Sì.
See? So we're in a cold pan. So we're in a new method here. So currently 3 tablespoons,
Basta?
3 tablespoons of olive oil.
Ecco.
Yeah.
For me, this is so exciting. We've got 2 dishes cooking in parallel, right? One celebrating lemon, one celebrating wine. Nonna Marina,
Sì.
perché coniglio importante?
Per qui da quando c'era veramente la guerra, qui si usava tanto, cioè allevare i conigli in famiglia, li allevavano. Che ora ognuno ha la sua gabbietta con i suoi conigli e fa i conigli di casa, hai capito? Quindi usiamo tantissimo questi conigli, perché
Delizioso.
piacciono a tutti, sì.
A lot of people don't know about rabbit, but it's very similar to chicken. It's a wonderful carrier of flavours.
For recipe 1, Nonna Marina mixes a glass of white wine with a tablespoon of sugar.
Io non sono capace di fare così.
And adding 1 finely sliced onion.
Ora metto un po' di pinole, va bene così. E le mandorle, sì,
Mandola? Sì.
tagliate però.
Perché le mandano?
Ma viene più gusto.
The nuts are grown on the island, so Nonna's not holding back, piling them in for a delicious, rich finish.
Pomodoro.
Sì. Quanti?
7, 8.
In they go.
Followed by bay leaves, crushed cloves, and a good glug of a local speciality called vino di mustard.
So she ain't mucking about. This is a very classic flavour to this area. And it's when they take the leftover must from making the wine. It's like all the bits of skin and stuff like that. And what they do is instead of throw it away, they reboil it with sugar and they can kind of bespoke it and make it their own. They can put spices in. It tastes a little bit like raisins.
Ne messo, sì.
Come licorice, come sort of pruny juice. It's big and bold,
Gustoso, vero?
delicious.
And if you can't get musto, thick balsamic vinegar or prune juice will do the trick.
Look at the colour change here. It's dark, it's glistening. This is really, really exciting. Profumo fantastico.
The second recipe begins with olive oil, onions, bay leaves and nuts. But this time, the magic ingredient is lemon.
Meno 3, 4 di questi limoni.
The smell of lemon.
Anna, this is what I love it.
Allora, io da te ho imparato una cosa, che così fai il limone.
It's the human sieve.
È bello,
See, we're
bello.
exchanging tips. You see, I'm learning from her, she's learning from me.
Nonna Marina mixes lemon juice with 4 tablespoons of sugar.
There's a builder's cup of lemon juice and sugar gone in there. But this is a sweet and sour dish.
Tutto?
Tutto.
Never seen anything like this before. Never. So we've got that flavour of the islands happening. We've got the nuts in there. We've got spices in there. See, when you make stews or little pot roasts, the flavour you're developing is very base and mid. Do you know what I mean? And what I love about what she's doing is at the very end of the dish, she's adding the treble.
Jamie, can you see how creamy it become with the lemons and with the sugar?
I just love it. The shine is amazing. What Nonna's done is, like, she's been very brave and bold with flavours. And, of course, what you get is a confident dish. You could do this absolutely with chicken, mixed game, beautiful. But meat on the bone, that's when you get the flavour from the bones. These little pine nuts, they're sort of swelling up. And, of course, they're full of natural fats. You know, rabbit's quite lean. It's a healthy meat. So by using the olive oil and the pine nuts with all that incredible natural fat, you're kind of making it even more tender and more delicious. Wow. This is proper southern cooking happening right now. Hundreds of years they would have been cooking just like this.
The rabbit is left to bubble away for about half an hour until the meat is soft and the sauce reduces.
Questo tu lo puoi mangiare sia caldo che anche freddo, perché va bene lo stesso. Interessante che non è freddo del frigorifero, però,
Sì.
temperatura ambiente.
And that's
Capito?
really interesting. And actually you'll see that around the island and around the Mediterranean because it's so hot here. So the concept of having meat hot, fine. Cold, delicious. Either or is right. But also, there's one thing, is like when food's really hot, you can't taste it as much. So when things are room temperature or just a little warm, you can taste so much more of the flavours, which is beautiful. So, Nonna, finito?
Sì, abbiamo finito.
Mangiare?
Non dobbiamo mangiare, giusto? Ciao, ciao famiglia, benvenuta.
By using the same base island ingredients but changing the final layer of flavour, Nonna's knocked up 2 distinct dishes fit for a feast.
Cornelio Olive!
Si mangia! Ma guarda, complimenti! Porta questo qua.
How amazing is this? A proper Italian lunch. This is all Nonna Marina's family, and I think they're ready to eat now.
Buon appetito, eh? Buon appetito.
I just can't wait to tuck in.
I love it.
Già sono pronti.
So delicious. And all these little juices, you know, all the little pine nuts.
Oh my God, it's so good.
The nuts completely change texture, don't they, when they're cooked like
It
this?
is.
I mean, they're just as tasty as the rabbit. They're carrying all that flavour.
I love that these delicious meals, born out of necessity to raise rabbits in wartime, live on, keeping Marina's family happy decades later.
Con le mani.
Ah. Said eat your hands, don't muck about.
Oh
Said
yeah.
it tastes much better. Lovely, it's so good. What do you think about the flavours?
Each one has got his own flavour in his own way, and with the lemons cooks ever so well, that sweet and sour.
I mean, the dark one is completely different, isn't it? It's rich.
Amazing.
It's got that
Amazing.
depth of flavour.
And with the mosto of the wine is incredible because it's sticky.
You're right. It's like barbecue.
It's a
Yeah, yeah,
barbecue.
yeah.
When you put it inside your mouth, you go, hey, come on.
You're completely right, Nonna. Ottimo.
Ottimo, vero?
What a pleasure to share a classic family Italian lunch. Beautiful day, beautiful view, beautiful Nonna. An amazing dish. Salute.
Alziamo il bicchiere e ringraziamo a nonna Marina. Grazie di tutto. Salute. Buonissimo.
Molto buono.
Nonna Marina has smashed it. Her simple, no-nonsense recipes produce big, bold dishes that burst with island flavour. But you know what? You can do these at home. I can't wait to get cracking on a recipe that turns Salina's ingredients into a show-stopping meal.
So I'm going to cook for you the most amazing chicken dish that's inspired by the island, inspired by Nonna Marina, and inspired by those two incredible rabbit dishes.
This stunning chicken and aubergine pot roast with zesty couscous packs the full force of the island's flavours.
For me, this is a family meal, paying homage to all the island's food. The aubergines, the rosemary, the wild herbs, the tomatoes, the garlic, fantastic. And I want to do it with chicken. Chicken is the meat of choice, right? And they eat a lot of chicken here as well. So we are going to use a beautiful local free-range chicken. First up, let's talk about aubergines. It's an amazing veg. You can have it raw, you can have it pickled, you can roast it, you can fry it, you can deep fry it, you can griddle it. And I want to cook it in a way where you get elements of crispy skin, but real butteriness, real kind of amazing meatiness that absorbs the flavour from the chicken and all of these flavours around me. It's going to be a great dish that you can do at home with your family, right? I've got 3 of these little beauties. I'm going to cut them quite big. I'm going to do bad kind of chunks, clanks, bits like that. And this is quite unusual. But I really want to try and create a harmony between how I'm going to butcher that chicken into chunks and also the aubergine. They're as important as each other.
To soften, season and sweeten the aubergine, cover in salt and leave to sweat.
Then we've got this chicken. So I'm going to break this down into a stewing cut, OK? So I'm going to go in and it goes straight through that little joint there, right? And I'll do it on the other side, straight through. Then I've got the legs and the thigh here. So just push them down like that, and I'm just going to run my knife between the skin, and then I pull it, and I click that little bone out here. That's the leg. I'm not leaving it whole. I need to cut it in half. You can feel there's a gap, and then you put your blade in the gap and bash it. So now we've got a beautiful drumstick, and then we've got the thigh. Gorgeous.
I'm keeping the meat on the bone to really maximise the flavour of the chicken.
You can get your butcher to do this for you, by the way. Season this bad boy up just with a little kiss of extra virgin olive oil, sea salt, some pepper, and let's have a little massage up. And we'll put it in the pan, which is cold, just like Nonna Marina did.
Cook the chicken skin side down so the fat renders out and becomes the foundation of our flavour.
Now have a look at this aubergine, and you see how it's sweating. And that's just the salt that's done that. And that will soften the aubergine. It will also season the aubergine. Right? Most of the salt will come off, so don't start getting worried about salt. But it also drags this element of bitterness out.
When the chicken turns brown and crispy, whip it out the pan. Rinse the salt off the aubergine and get it sizzling.
Let's get some colour. Look at that. Yes. We've browned off the chicken. And we've got some colour on the aubergines. And hopefully you can kind of see how there's an amazing kind of similarity in size between the aubergine and the chicken. That's done on purpose, right? So a bit of colour. I didn't kind of touch them too much. I got confident colour on them. But in the pan, we have got lots of flavour left. And we can start our story of the island flavours, right?
Yeah, I've got some beautiful herbs here.
So if you can peel that garlic for me.
Right.
So we want the pine nuts, we want the almonds, we want...
The capers.
Yeah. From the garden, we took some chilli, right? Let's get a bit of spice coming. If you ever want to use chilli, but you want a rounder kind of chilli flavour, not kind of aggressive and hot, just prick it with a knife, because it will puff up when you heat it, and it will explode, and if it explodes over you, that hurts, right? But I'm going to use whole chilies, OK?
I've gone for 3 whole chilies and 2 cloves of garlic.
Oh, my God, look at that. Yes, cinnamon is giving that extra flavour, that lift.
It's not native, but the islanders love a bit of spice. Now, bringing it back home, add 3 bashed up bay leaves, 3 sage leaves, and 2 sprigs of rosemary.
Classic. Look at that. The smells.
I know. And look
The
at this
smell.
cinnamon.
So I'm going to cut the onions nice and fine, just like Nonna Marina. And by cutting them fine like this, we're kind of making the natural sugars much more accessible. And when we caramelise that, that's going to give you the agrodolce classic flavour.
Good.
Nice.
Come on.
Throw in the onions, followed by a good handful of those island heroes, capers.
The flavour from all those beautiful herbs, capers. Look at the colours. I need to get some tomatoes happening. And one of the tips that me and Gennaro have learned is we have been squeezing the pips out of tomatoes for probably 50 or 60 years between us,
Yeah, well, I think
covering
it's
ourselves.
more.
I do that. And of course, Nonna the other day just did it underwater. So I'm just going to squeeze that, get rid of the seeds. There's no mess.
What a lovely tips.
It's such a
Why?
good-
Why? I never was thinking why.
I don't know, because we're stupid, that's why. That's why you've got to come and learn from the nonnas, man. Chefs sometimes just kind of overcomplicate things. We've got the dolce from the sweet onions. And we're going to add sweet tomatoes. I'm just going to break them up in my hand. And the acid will come from the lemon juice, just like Nonna Marina, right? We're going to use that technique. It was a good technique, wasn't it?
Add the tomatoes, chicken and aubergine, and let those flavours harmonise.
Oh my God.
They're all around each other. Let's put some lemon juice in there. We want to big up lemon juice for that sweet and sour vibe, just like our nonna. I'm not going to put the sugar, because I think the way we cook the onions is going to be sweet enough. Go on, big boy. No pips.
No pips.
Pine nuts go in. They'll fall to the bottom. They'll suck up juice.
Can't wait in. Go put them in.
So this beautiful thing goes in the oven for about half an hour to 40 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius until the meat just falls off the bone of the chicken. Now, we are going to serve this with couscous.
I love to add a pinch of saffron to boiling water.
Chuck us a lemon, big boy. And so add the juice of half a lemon, and I'm going to leave the lemon in there. The hot water is going to infuse with that skin. It's going to be lovely. It's really easy, isn't it?
Complete easy.
And I think also what people don't realise is that this is cooked already. You just have to rehydrate it. And then I'm just going to pour in the couscous, visually about half as much.
The islanders picked up this staple from their North African neighbours. Now it's a popular alternative to pasta and will work a treat with my pot roast.
Gonna be
And
so
the only
good.
thing I would do, Jannar, is a little oil. Just because you're loving it, kissing it, dressing it. And we'll add a few capers. That's like paying respect, right, Jannar?
Yes, indeed.
And then just put a lid on top. That's all you do. Nothing. No cooking, no steaming, just that. 12 minutes, that'll be ready, and it will keep warm.
All that's left to do is serve.
Come on!
Oh my God.
Oh, look at that.
This sensational melt-in-your-mouth chicken and aubergine pot roast serenades you with the island's flavours and hits the ultimate high note with this light and zesty couscous that soaks up all of those juices.
So tender, look at it. Really, really delicious. I mean, what you get there is essentially a pot roast. Meat just melting off the bone. The aubergines are insane. Buttery and meaty. Honestly, hand in my heart, like, the aubergines are as good as the chicken.
You can talk, I'm eating.
This was inspired by Nonna Marina and that big family, and I think this would be amazing on a Sunday for a big gathering, a dinner party. It's a brilliant feasting dish. Big boy, without doubt, this has been a success. We came here to discover ancient, old, unseen recipes.
We find this.
Yeah.
Next time, we find out why Puglia is the hottest food destination in Italy.
Absolute heaven. Look at that.
I get a right old rollicking from Puglia's pasta grannies.
I love it.
And I serve up an epic seafood celebration you'll never forget.
Look at the colours. With flavour like this, you're going to go nuts.
There's nowhere quite like Italy.
Look how busy it is. I love it.
The landscapes, the people, the history,
It's unbelievable.
and of course, the most amazing food.
Oh. I'm just having a moment.
I love it, and I always have done.
This is like my idea of heaven.
Great food here isn't about Michelin-starred chefs, it's about home-cooked recipes. So in this series, I'm going right to the heart of Italian cooking.
Oh, so good.
To the mamas and the nonnas of Italy.
These are some of the best home-cooked recipes in the world.
They've perfected recipes handed down over generations.
I'm just doing what I'm told. I love it.
I'm travelling far and wide to see what secrets I can learn from these true masters of the kitchen.
Forza, forza! Belli, bravi!
That is a game changer.
And I'll be showing you how to cook up delicious Italian dishes
With flavour like this, you're going to go nuts.
that use the nonna's way to transform the simple into the sublime.
I'm going to have to stop myself eating. It's so good.
This week, we're in Puglia. On the menu, some sensational veg sauces from some no-nonsense nonnas.
See, okay.
Plus, Italy's answer to paella.
I've never seen a dish like this, but I know it's going to be good.
I show you how to turn a simple salad into something sensational.
Oh, yes. Colours, guys, colours.
And share with you my seafood showstopper.
With flavour like this, you're going to go nuts. Look at all these beautiful, beautiful olive trees. I've never seen so many.
Me and my old pal and mentor Gennaro Contaldo are in glorious Puglia, discovering why this ancient agricultural hub has become the hottest food destination in Italy.
It's the Garden of Italy, isn't it?
Oh, the food in Puglia, it is unbelievable. The taste and everything is tasted, everything is natural.
This unspoilt slice of rural Italy is in the deep south. It's the country's market garden, producing most of its olive oil and fresh fruit and veg. The incredible produce from both the land and sea is why Italians come here on holiday, to feast on some of the best food in the country.
I mean, the thing I'm really excited about is all the beautiful ways of cooking vegetables here. I mean, they produce most of the vegetables in Italy from this area.
This is the place.
At the heart of Puglia's culinary renaissance are the cherished family recipes of the local nonnas. And Gennaro's taking me to learn their kitchen secrets.
Buongiorno!
Buongiorno!
Ciao!
Buongiorno. Afternoon.
Ciao, Jamie.
Buongiorno, Gennaro, che piacere!
These lovely ladies are lifelong friends. And as generations would have done before them, they still make fresh pasta every day, always served with delicious homegrown veg.
So we're making the pasta.
Water.
Semolina?
Semolina.
Sì.
Please.
Okay.
Go.
Piano, piano.
Crede che vince.
Slow. Okay.
Slowly,
Yeah, you girls like it slowly. Okay, well, I'm sticking with that.
Slowly.
Okay. I'm excited. Do you know?
Vai, 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 forza.
Sit. Okay. Christ almighty, her poor husband.
Piano, piano, piano.
Forza. A lavorare è bello, si batte sul martello, è bello lavorare, è bello faticare.
She's singing, it's beautiful to work, but it's also beautiful to get tired. Which is kind of a nice way of upselling, pull your finger out and work hard and be proud, you know.
Choosing the right pasta for the right sauce is a serious business in Italy. And for chunky veg, it's got to be orecchietti, which means little ears.
So that's a classic little orecchietti, lovely little cup, where that knife is dragged back. It's got these little kind of like ripples and tears, and they all hold sauce, right? And that's very particular. And in one part of Bari, they'll make it a certain size, and in Altamora, they'll make it a slightly different size, and they'll all be orecchietti, but they could almost tell what area or what village you come from by the exact size and shape of your orecchietti.
Metti il dito così, reggi col dito.
No?
Questo non è venuto bene, fai l'altro.
She's making me nervous, though. I'm really losing my skills.
So come le orecchie mie.
Un pochino più gentile con lui, con amore.
Ma io l'ho trattata così
But
bene.
they make it look easy.
La devi tagliare, vedi? Con questo lo reggi e con questo
There's a
mantieni,
secret
vedi?
touch.
The key is to make little cup-like shapes, deep enough to hold chunky vegetable sauces.
When you make this, it is taking part in something that's gone on for thousands and thousands of years. And as easy as it is to buy orecchietti from a supermarket, it's such a pleasure, isn't it? Such a pleasure to learn.
Each one is a labor of love, so there is no wastage, there is no leftover.
I love it, Janai. That's a good one, right? Come on. Come on, Nonna. Come on.
No, quello è bello.
This is a good one.
Brava.
No, this is good.
This pasta might look pretty, but it's the nonna's sauces that turn it into a work of art.
So we are now going to have a masterclass in sauces for orecchietti.
Nonna Cinzia paints her pasta with young broad beans and sweet juicy tomatoes. And Nonna Vita's making an extraordinary sauce with aubergine, courgette and a unique type of black chickpea.
Cecciniri.
Oh, I've never seen that before. Black chickpeas. Wow, beautiful. Let's do it. So we're slicing up our aubergine. She's peeled it. You don't see that very often. And she's randomly cutting it, which I quite like.
Chopping the veg into different sizes is a nifty trick to add texture to the sauce.
Cipolla.
See, cipolla. Sotiglia?
Sì.
Okay, so very finely sliced. This is very, very exciting because I've never seen a sauce like this ever in any pasta.
Che bravo.
See?
Once the onions have softened, it's in with the aubergine and roughly chopped courgette.
Vita, quanti anni cucina?
9 anni, 8 anni. Cecciniri. Metti.
Quanti?
No, quello che vuoi. Metti, vai.
Noi siamo ficcanasi. E insomma, vi muovete o no?
Then hurry up. They've boiled the water. She wants the sauce.
Whilst Gennaro grapples with cooking the pasta, I can't wait to get cracking on sauce number 2, which is a real homage to spring.
So this is new season's broad beans. These are just completely delicious and tender.
Questa è una ricetta veloce perché
Very quick recipe.
queste fave si mangiano anche crude.
The secret to this sauce is to not overcook the veg. Just a couple of minutes softening is all it takes.
And now we add the tomatoes?
Sì,
So
adesso.
it's quite a quick dish, this one.
Nonna Cinzia finishes off with a few fragrant basil leaves.
In here?
Oh, sì.
See?
Ah.
I'm just doing what I'm told. I love it.
And a good old sprinkling of salted ricotta cheese.
Absolute heaven. Look at that.
I love how both these vibrant veggie sauces nestle into the beautiful orecchietti. This is food worth travelling for, and I can't wait to tuck in.
So the black chickpeas, Gennaro, courgettes and aubergine. What a joy.
Buon appetito.
Una forchetta, per favore.
This is so beautiful. I mean, the girls have done a great job. First up, the pasta, you know, you can taste the difference when it's made like this. It's not the same as the stuff in the packs. This is sublime. And then the sauces are fantastic, so simple. You know, there's almost less ingredients, so you can taste more. This one was so light, wasn't it? The sweetness of the tomatoes.
Everything's tasty. Minimum ingredient,
Yeah.
maximum flavor.
Quali sono le orecchiette che hai fatto tu?
Quelle più brutte.
Oh, not brutti. This one here. That's my one. Salute. Grazie mille.
I'm so excited to learn from these wonderful women and all of their decades of cooking experience. I want to channel some of that nonna know-how into my own recipe and show you how to make your very own Puglian pasta feast.
You know some of these olive trees that 2,000 years old?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Does that make you feel young?
Yeah, very young.
So me and Gennaro are going to cook a lovely homemade pasta inspired by those beautiful nonnas yesterday. How good was that?
That was incredible.
We've never been told off so much.
My easy peasy homemade pasta is perfectly designed to hold my vibrant fresh broccoli and tangy cheese pesto, making every mouthful delicious.
I'm going to put a pan of cold water on the boil now. And by the time this takes to come to the boil, we're going to make homemade pasta from scratch. We're going to do an easy shape that even a raving idiot can do, right? You're not going to have to struggle like me on the orecchietti. For 2 people, we're going to go generous. We're going to go 2 big handfuls of this beautiful Durham wheat flour, right?
That's about 100 grams, and you can pick it up in most supermarkets.
This is basically semolina flour here. And we're just going to pour water in, right? And we want to kind of make a nice dough. It's so simple. And I'm going to start with a fork, OK? Then it gets a little bit thicker. It looks a bit more like breadcrumbs. And by the time it's too hard to work with the fork anymore, then that's normally a good time to use your hands without getting them too sticky.
If your dough still feels a little bit wet, then simply sprinkle in a tiny bit more flour.
A little bit of energy to get it off the sides, clean the bowl, and just start moving it. Moving it, moving it. I'm just pulling it back, pushing it forward. There might be technique, but it doesn't matter if you haven't got any technique, just move it. There's no egg in here, by the way. So eggs in pasta is typically more...
Northern
Italian,
Northern
right?
Italian.
The pasta shape I'm making is so easy, you just can't muck it up.
I call it cortecci.
Yeah.
What does cortecci translate as?
Well, the cortecci, look, if you see this tree, it's the bark of a tree.
Yeah, we've kneaded this for like 3, maybe 4 minutes. And you can see it's nice and tight, soft. And now we can just take little bits like this, little like marble-sized pieces. And we're going to roll it like this, right? Anyone can do this until you got that. Very simple. Then you take your little fingers. You can put it in flour if you want. And you just dig it in, and then you pull it towards you. Right? And what you get is that. I love the thickness there, the little divots.
Like Nonna's orecchietti, this shape is the perfect carrier for fresh veg.
So the pasta's done. Now the sauce, it's using a fantastic, typical broccoli of this area. This is called cima di rape. Of course, you could use regular broccoli back home, sprouting broccoli, tender stem, fantastic. So we're going to take the sprigs off here. We'll have these gorgeous broccoli heads there. You can just remove most of the chunky bits of stalk. Take the leaves off, we want them as well.
Yes.
Those nonnas, they would all have this growing in their garden.
Yes.
Without question. So what's the difference between this and regular broccoli? This is slightly more bitter. It's delicate, it's bitter, and...
It's full of flavour. Huh?
Full of flavour, but bitterness is not an enemy, right? You can work with it, OK? You can work with it, and with the fat and saltiness of the cheese that we're going to add to it, it's going to be amazing. Right, Gennaro's going to slice up a couple of cloves of garlic. I've got some anchovies here. Now, look, of course, you can buy different anchovies. You can tell this has been made with love and care. You're going to pay more for it. You get an incredible, incredible fillet of anchovy in there. This has been taken from a large tin and you prep it yourself. Now, what you have to do to understand anchovy is know that you've always got to do something to it, whether it's marinate it, clean it, fresh or cured, it doesn't matter. So using anchovies is kind of like a seasoning.
It is.
This dish without the anchovies is nothing.
Yeah.
About 4, do you think is enough?
Yeah, it's 4 is enough.
4 anchovies. And then we're going to use some spice from some lovely flaked chilli.
For the pesto, Just fry up the anchovy, garlic and chilli for a couple of minutes.
It started to dissolve, the anchovies.
Like butter.
Then in with the broccoli.
Straight in.
Gennaro's going to break the frying now with
Yeah.
a splash of water.
There it goes.
Cook it for like...
2 minutes, 3 minutes.
But typically, the pestos that we know are raw, aren't they?
Yes, Genovese, especially with the basil.
But this is cooked.
That is cooked pesto.
So let's talk about that. This is new. This is exciting. Why do we cook it?
Well, because don't forget they've got a little stalk, that little bit tough. Cooking, you can mash it better.
So just to tenderise it.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to put the pasta in the water. It's boiling. Season it well with salt. So this pasta, you know, we just made it, so it probably needs 4 minutes.
While the pasta cooks, take your softened broccoli and roughly smash it up to make a wonderful warm pesto.
So we've got the flavour there of the broccoli, the garlic, the chilli, the anchovy, right? And then we can put just a little cheese in,
go on.
right?
I'm using grated pecorino, but you can use any tangy cheese you like.
And then I'll start adding a little more beautiful extra virgin olive oil just to loosen. And you don't have to, but sometimes it's nice to add just a little lemon juice.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, a couple of drips. Let me just drain this. And there's just enough residual water in there to kind of create a beautiful, light, delicate sauce.
Oh, my goodness me.
And it's pungent. Go on, Gennaro, a little olive oil.
Just a little bit of olive oil. A touch. And
Look at that. Homemade pasta.
all that broccoli went inside the cortecce.
Just a final little bit of cheese.
Just like Nonna's orecchietti, my pasta and pesto work in harmony to showcase that beautiful fresh broccoli.
Salty, savoury, the freshness from the greens.
It's a beautiful, fantastic flavour.
I love the way the shape of the pasta just sort of holds onto the olive oil and the smashed up broccoli. Beautiful. What are you waiting for?
When you've got produce this fresh, there's no better way to show it off than in a spectacular salad. And I'm going to let you in on one of my all-time favourites.
So I'm going to show you the most fantastic Southern Italian-inspired salad using beautiful stone fruit.
My grilled apricot, mozzarella and prosciutto salad is pure Italian summer on a plate.
I just love this because when I started learning from the Italians about putting fruit into salads, it was like a revelation to me. You know, herbs, interesting dressings. It went from this kind of side salad thing to a gastronomic meal. I've got amazing apricots right here. Look at these. Such amazing colours. So beautiful. You could do this with peaches or plums. I've got a barbecue on, but you could use a pan or a griddle pan or a grill. No trouble at all. A little bit of heat, and that equals flavour. Back home, we generally have these dried, right? When they're in season, they're great. Give them a twist. We're going to use thyme. I love thyme. It's super beautiful. You can keep the little thyme tips, even though thyme is a woody herb. When it's in season like this, these tips kind of qualify for being delicate and gorgeous. So I'll put that to one side, and then I'll take these gnarly bits of thyme. I'm going to kind of put them in, stalks and all, and I'm going to add a little olive oil and just dress them. Simply like that. Thyme and apricots, right? That's the beginning of our story. Kind of lightly place them down. They're oiled, so hopefully they won't stick.
Pop the thyme on top, and whilst that starts cooking, crack on with the dressing. Start with 2 to 3 tablespoons of red or white wine vinegar and a small handful of pink peppercorns.
I had a beautiful fish dish in Amalfi and blew my mind, fragrance, and I started using them from there for delicate things. I'm just going to crush them in my hands and put them in and around this. They're dried, but a little bit of vinegar will rehydrate them.
Pink peppercorns give a mild, peppery, fragrant hit. Perfect for salads.
And then I'm going to put some oil in here. You know, we're going to equal that vinegar, so it's going to be feisty. Of course, if you want to make it less tangy, put more oil in. Gorgeous, extra virgin olive oil. Look at that, what a picture. The next bit of the story is onions. Use a nice sweet onion, a red onion, a shallot, and finely slice it as much as you can. And as I'm scattering them in, I just want to push them so those little circles, give or take, fall apart. If you scrunch these up a little bit, you get a lovely rosy hum to the dressing, and the onions start to change. And my missus is not an onion lover, but this changes it so they become subtle and elegant and delightful. Let's have a little look at our apricots.
The apricots should take about 4 to 5 minutes to char and caramelise.
Yes, yes, yes.
They'll quickly start to soften and colour. Now I'm going to turn this salad into something really sumptuous.
This is a beautiful buffalo mozzarella made with buffalo's milk. To be honest, if it's fresh, all mozzarella's good. I don't care what anyone says. These mozzarellas are kind of made in the most beautiful sort of twisted fashion. What you can do, if you're lucky, is you can unwind it, kind of get in there, and then love it some more. A little bit of salt. You can give it a little bit of pepper. Just love. Just a tiny little stroke of lemon zest.
Add just a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil.
Yes. Look at that. We got colour. Come on. Beautiful. I mean, look at those colours.
Charring fruit is a brilliant way to supercharge a salad, adding instant sweetness and warmth.
The next bit is prosciutto. So get yourself some nice prosciutto San Daniele, and that's a little town. Specific, you know, it's a specific quality, and they're famous. So people know prosciutto di Parma or di Modena, San Daniele. Very, very delicious. So look, I got some nice leaves. Nice little tip, if you've ever got nice leaves, just get a bit of kitchen paper like this and wet it, and it just kind of keeps them really fresh and vibrant, especially if you're doing picnics and stuff like that. So let's put some rocket in the story.
And for contrast and crunch, go in with some beautiful romaine leaves.
Lovely little cups. Beautiful. Some little chicory. Doesn't matter what leaves you get, but something interesting. You can slice some up if you want. You can cup some up if you want. Got a little radicchio. Just a few bits, you don't need much. Just hack it up. Nice. Let's just toss this up like that. Do it at the table at the last minute. And this is a salad in its own right, which is amazing. But then, of course, when you take the mozzarella and start putting tears and wedges, it then starts becoming not a salad, but a meal. Then we start taking the prosciutto off, and we'll just kind of let gravity do its thing. Little waves and quaffs. Look at that. Tuck it under. And then we've got our gorgeous smashes of colour. Bosh! And there's a warmth element. So they're not super hot now, but it's warm, it's cold, you're playing with texture, you're playing with colour, you're playing with sweet and sour, and you're playing with temperature, you know. And actually, even some of these thymes, I don't want the stalks, but some of these thyme leaves, I'll have those, crispy bits. Nice. And that's it. All you need is a little olive oil.
And for the finishing touch, sprinkle on some of that fragrant flowering thyme.
Look at that. Let's hear it for salads. Let's make a big deal of salads. It's not just about combinations and flavours, it's about being responsive to what's in season, what's hanging on, you know, trees and what's down the markets. I hope you try this. If you do, you're going to have a little flavour explosion.
My bright and beautiful salad with creamy mozzarella, sweet caramelised apricots, salty prosciutto and fresh crunchy leaves.
Oh, yes. Colours, guys, colours. Green. The onion works. It holds it all together. So good. Clean and fresh with the mozzarella. The saltiness from the prosciutto is just so savoury and gorgeous. I wouldn't remove anything, I wouldn't add anything more. It's just fresh and zingy. Go and get some stone fruit, have a little grill up, get some caramelisation going, mix up some flavours. Life's way too short.
We're back on the road in search of the secrets to Puglia's culinary renaissance. Gennaro's brought me to the region's capital, Bari, home to one of the country's most industrious fishing ports and some of the finest seafood Italy has to offer.
I love the way they just like jump off the boats, set up their shop.
For centuries, locals have flocked to the quay for some of the freshest fish straight off the boat. For these guys, the best way to eat seafood, this fresh, is raw, celebrating the natural flavours of the sea.
Crudo, raw fish is normal here. It's like the freshest fish ever, and it's amazing. It's like, you know, you got mussels, you got clams, you got octopus, you got cuttlefish, you got prawns. Do you know, look at the old the sea urchins. Aren't they beautiful?
I love a sea urchin.
And the effort they have to go and get them. Because you used to catch them when you were a little boy. I used to step on them.
Yeah.
They really
You
hurt.
catch it, you put them on a cloth, and you cut them on the side, squeeze a little bit of lemon.
But it's such a delicacy.
Hallelujah.
And this is this. What do you call that? Tartufi?
Taratufi, yeah, well, truffles, sea truffles.
It's literally the ugliest thing on the planet I've ever seen. And inside it is this little golden nugget. They call it a fruit.
It's kind of a, how do you say the word? Animus?
Anemone.
Anemone, yes. Possiamo mettere il limone su questo?
No, non limone.
Perché no?
Per del mare.
What's the matter with Gennaro? What are you trying to get?
Ma facciamo che a me mi piace il limone, no?
This is the quickest way to upset all the locals.
Se io per caso ci voglio mettere un pochino d'aglio, un pochino di prezzemolo, insomma.
No, lo ammazzi.
Lo uccidi, come se you kill
Bisogna
it.
mangiare assolutamente crudi.
Voglio comprare questo.
Sì, comprare questo.
Just tell your fishmonger that you want to eat the seafood raw and ask for super fresh or sushi quality. We know this lot straight from the sea and I can't wait to give it a go the locals' way. Kicking off with tartufi.
Tartufi means truffle. It doesn't taste anything like tartufi, but it does taste utterly of the sea.
So nice.
Sweet and bitter. It's a really unusual combination. Really delicious. I love that. Come on then, big boy. I think a lot of people have probably never tried a raw mussel before. Maybe an oyster. So sweet. Tender. Irony. Very, very nice.
You can smell and you can taste the sea, and every single one has got texture to it.
Then there's the sea urchin, which is such a delicacy. If you look in here, you can see it's little bits of orange. And they call that the liver. And the locals just get bits of bread and just use it like butter. I'm just using my finger. And it's kind of sweet. It's taste of the sea. It's got a very subtle bitterness to it that's really, really nice. The ricci, as they call this, are only in season in the spring, and they go absolutely crazy for it. We're going for the little cuttlefish now. How are you going to cut that, big boy?
Yeah, I've got a knife here.
What would the locals do?
Eat them as is.
Oh, it's so tender.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
people always talk about squid or octopus being tough. That's as tender as it comes. So delicious. Quite neutral in flavour. I mean, it's got like a saltiness to it.
Let's put a bit of lemon on top. I come from the Amalfi Coast.
Gennaro's answer to everything in life is put a bit of lemon on it.
There's no doubt about it, the seafood here is world class, just like back home. It's delicious, raw and pure, but I want to get creative and have a play with some of that incredible Puglian produce. And when you're in the market garden of Italy, what better way to see what's in season than with a little bit of foraging?
Look, wild fennel. Have a look. Just give it a little rub, and it smells of aniseed. It grows all around the world. Parks, in streets, on roundabouts. It's a free food, and it's everywhere. Look, this is wild chicory. It's basically like a little dandelion, incredibly nutritious. And you don't have to use the bigger leaves, but these tiny little leaves, see where the bud comes? That can be beautiful.
There's so much amazing free food out there, but some can be harmful. So do your research before heading out.
This here is myrtle. If I just take this off, this is fantastic to roast with, amazing with pork. And this is kind of considered a woody herb, like bay leaves and rosemary. But do you see the change in colour? See how it's gone light? So that's new growth. So even with thyme and rosemary and myrtle and bay leaves, when it kind of gives you that new life, it's very tender. And that could be used to garnish fish in the most delicate of ways.
I can't wait to combine this lot with fresh fish straight from the market. And don't forget, you can do this at home too.
So now I'm going to make like an antipasti crudo, a mixed selection of beautiful raw fish dishes, something to feast your eyes on, something to kind of just get you excited. And if you've never tried raw fish before, maybe this will help you get there.
My 4 fish crudo plates are a delicate combo of succulent seafood, fragrant herbs, and zingy citrus. A bit like ceviche, this is fresh, exciting, and insanely delicious.
So look, I've filleted down the fish. Remember, you can get it at this stage from your fishmonger. So this is actually the simplest recipe in the world. We're just gonna embellish it. So first up, anchovies. I'm gonna keep it quite simple, right? Parsley and lemon. There's nothing new there. Let's just start with something classic. So the lemon juice goes in to our little platter here. A little bit of good Puglian olive oil, tiny bit of salt. Parsley, irony, fresh. Gorgeous. A nice little place to land our anchovies. The silver skins, it's going to be so good, and that lemon juice will start to cook the fish.
The citric acid from lemons, lime, oranges have a similar effect on fish to cooking, turning the flesh opaque, and the texture starts to firm up. It's delicious.
Such a joy. Okay. So there you go, first one, very simple. Right, I'm looking at this beautiful red mullet. Right, it's a flaky fish, it's fresh, it's clean, it's got a little light oiliness about it. I'm gonna go a bit thicker on the slice.
Get yourself a super sharp knife and slice against the grain of the fish for really clean cuts.
You can experiment with presentations, thickness, such beautiful colour. Little flecks of zest. Hardly need any at all. The juice is essential. We'll start to cook the fish, and then got the new season's peas here. As a kid, when I used to eat the little raw peas, they were sweet and delicious. When you eat the seafood, it's sweet and delicious. I really want you to have a go at this. There is no right and wrong, right? You know, the idea of some raw red mullet with some fresh peas, a little bit of rocket, but go for the really tiny leaves of rocket. And the olive oil. Beautiful. Fantastic.
Next, I've got this gorgeous whole langoustine and some really good quality tiger prawns.
Let's just have some fun, be creative. There's no right and wrong. We're gonna hit it up with lemon juice again. But then I've got these bigger prawns here, and actually, I might just chop this up and make a little bit of a tartare. These prawns are so sweet, so I wanna play with that. And on the tree over there is those beautiful little marmalade oranges, right? So orange prawns, delicious. There's some orange juice on there. I'm gonna work with some chilies.
Dried flakes work great.
That gorgeous fennel from the garden. I'm just gonna pop this off, put that on. Completely bonkers, but utterly delicious. Even the flowers here, this is a sage, right? You'd never eat that with fish, never. But the flowers, they're edible, and they're rather beautiful. A few more chilies. Come on.
Finally, sea bass carpaccio with sweet chilli and crunchy apple.
I don't want it to be super thin. I want it to have a little bit of thickness to it. So think almost like kind of smoked salmon, the way we treat that. So I'm definitely going to use chili. Get rid of the seeds. I don't want it to be screaming hot.
For a delicate look, dice it as small as you can.
And I'm just going to use some apple. And that idea that you can use fruit, I really like. This eats so well with shellfish, scallops, raw fish.
Dice your apple the same size as the chili.
So you get the heat, and then you get the freshness. It's going to be so beautiful. Sea bass, carpaccio, chili and apple. Just a little bit of fennel on top. And with a really nice cold glass of rosé, that's going to be so good. Gina!
My small plates of fish crudo are the perfect antipasti. Fresh, melt-in-your-mouth seafood fused with zingy citrus fruits, fiery chili, fragrant herbs and sweet peas.
Do you know what? This isn't a Picasso on a plate.
Start there. We got sea bass with apple and chili and fennel.
Oh my God, it is an explosion. You got that chili, and then you got that sweetness out of the apples.
And then we got the langoustine and prawns with a little orange juice from that tree. So good. And you see those little rosemary flowers and sage flowers? So fresh, so delicate, so delicious. Right, red mullet, go on, try some. And slightly more oily.
Wild rocket, because wild rocket is a little bit bitter.
The little bit of pepperiness, yeah.
I love anchovies. I just love it. And the parsley.
If I take this anchovy, you can see
love
where it's
anchovies.
changed colour. There's the raw part and then where the lemon juice has kind of cooked it. Go on. It's so good.
Everyone tastes different. Everyone tastes the fish it is.
It's a lovely taste of Puglia, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Fresh fish, fresh vegetables, glass of wine, nice company.
Bravo.
Salute.
Salute.
Puglia's sensational seafood has inspired many a recipe, but we've tracked down one that's got us both buzzing.
I'm so excited to see the next nonna,
Yes, I wanted to see. I'm excited too. They're all lovely nonni, the one.
But this one is supposed to be the oracle of local cooking.
We're heading to a medieval town called Loco Rotondo, one of the stunning whitewash hill towns that dot the Puglian landscape. We've come to meet a nonna whose cooking is so legendary the local chefs go to her for inspiration. This place is incredible. It's like a labyrinth of narrow cobbled streets and some of the most dazzling buildings I've ever seen.
This is a small alleyway. They used to have for donkey, horses, you know, never been made for cars. The community, you know, from one window they look to the other window. That was community, was together.
Look at that building.
Oh gosh.
You Italians, you definitely know how to build beautiful buildings.
This is really beautiful.
I love all the whitewash walls.
Oh, look up here.
Nonna's most famous dish is a simple family recipe that sounds a bit like paella.
Linda!
Ehi,
Ciao, buonasera!
buonasera, come state? State bene?
Very
Il
well,
secondo
thank you.
bacio.
Gennaro
come
Contaldo.
stai?
Nice.
Linda, c'hai una reputazione incredibile per essere la migliore cuoca che c'è qui.
Senti, io sono brutta e sono stanca, è il lavoro che non mi manca.
Oh, bless her.
81-year-old Nonna Linda's been making her signature dish since the 1950s. This unique baked rice recipe is called tiella, and it dates back to when Puglia was under Spanish rule in the 16th century.
Riso, patate e cozze, alla tiella. Dobbiamo pulire le patate.
So this is very exciting. I've never seen or heard of it before. It kind of feels a little bit like Pugliese kind of paella.
Che c'è?
So
Look at the way she's done it. Look what we're doing. I can't do that.
I think we might be going back to school today, Gennaro.
I know.
Quanti anni cucina?
Avevo 15 anni.
Really? 15
Sono
years old?
66 anni, sono sposata, 66 anni.
Bless her.
Really?
Linda, ma il segreto per un matrimonio così lungo com'è?
Sopportare l'uomo.
I love it!
I've never seen anyone cut a potato like that in my life.
No.
Basically, she's kind of crisscrossed a potato. I'm going to go home and start chopping like this. We've got 1 onion in there, 1 clove of garlic, celery, and we're ready now to go in with the parsley. I mean, I like this recipe already. It's all in one pan. It's really quick cooking. How important is it to pass these recipes on and give them new life?
È importante, solo che non li fa nessuno. La gioventù di oggi non li fa, non ne vogliono sapere. Se glielo dai tutto pronto se lo mangiano, però se lo devono cucinare no.
This dish is all about creating mouth-watering layers. Next, a couple of handfuls of rice, grated parmesan, chopped tomatoes, and a good lug of extra virgin olive oil.
Poi ci metto il vino,
See?
il vino bianco, sì.
Yeah, a little bit.
È ubriaco questo.
Now time for the fresh seafood that Puglia is so famous for.
Here we go. There's the mussels. We're shucking the mussels into here, which is so delicious. She's kind of using the mussels like fish sauce. You know, that savoury umami sort of flavour you get from anchovies. It's gonna be amazing.
Do you know what? I never had a dish like this before.
Quando lo mangia lo fai a sua moglie, ai bambini, vedrai quanto gli piace.
I can't wait.
All these succulent fresh mussels will really supercharge the tiella. Nonna Linda's given us a real masterclass in flavour.
I haven't even tried this, and I know that this is serious.
This one-pot wonder is classic Nonna cooking. Layer up those ingredients and let the oven do all the hard work.
Do you know, look at this place. Oh, I love it. Linda, quanti tempo qui?
55 anni
Really?
che sto qui.
55
Ho cresciuto
years.
tutti i figli qui dentro. 8 figli. E ho fatto sempre da mangiare.
She's had all those children. She's a great grandma, and she's been cooking that dish all of this time.
Cosa che ha imparato della vita lei per dirglielo a noi?
Se lo volete prendere un divertimento, prendetelo adesso. Domani. No, adesso se Dio vuole stasera.
Yeah, I love that advice. Seize the moment, right? Do it now. Bella.
Grazie.
Nonna's spent years tweaking this recipe, and after half an hour in the oven, we finally get to tuck in.
Linda, complimenti. It
Grazie.
looks incredible. I mean, the smell is amazing, isn't it?
È buono.
Ottimo. It is so blooming delicious. Honestly, the depth of flavour. The rice and potatoes just suck up the flavour from the mussels. It's just delicious.
Questo più si raffredda, questo qua, è sempre migliore mangiarlo.
Yeah, I bet. That's exactly what me and Gennaro wanted when we came on this journey, to find undiscovered recipes. Well, there you go, there's one. What a joy.
Grazie Linda.
Yeah.
I'm so chuffed I've discovered this extraordinary seafood recipe, layered with local ingredients, family history, and all that flavour.
That is the story of the food, isn't it? Mum,
Yeah, it
looking
is.
after, taking care of your family, all that kind of stuff. Amazing. Lovely lady.
Every family needs a one-pot wonder. So I've come up with a beautiful fish stew that's packed to the rafters with fresh Puglian produce.
This is a triumph of a dish. I know you're going to love it. It's absolutely inspired by Nonna Linda.
Just like Nonna's Tiella, my supercharged one-pot seafood stew is simple to prep, but outrageously tasty.
In a funny sort of way, I'm uncooking, right? I don't want chef's food. I want Nonna's food. Onions first. I think it's very interesting, this kind of way she was using her knife, you know, completely unchefy. And here I am, copying her. The celery. It doesn't matter if it's erratic. Twist it around like that. I'm going to use 1 clove of garlic. The potato here, just like her, I want to just peel the potato, and then I'm going to cut mine slightly bigger, slightly more substantial. And then I'm going to use a little chilli. Fresh or dried, it's all good. And then some parsley, just like she did. You know, I'm kind of chopping this with a slightly blunt knife. So, of course, when you start to bruise and tear and twist herbs, you're getting more flavour out of it. It's quite fantastic. So there we go. Veg in there. I'm going to turn the gas on and we're going to fire it up.
Just soften your veg on a medium heat. Then, for a splash of colour, whack in some fresh courgettes.
Onions, garlic, celery. You can pretty much get it all the time. You know, you can make it seasonal by using courgettes, using asparagus or peas, broad beans, whatever you can get hold of, you can reflect in here, just like Nonna Linda was saying about her dish. I now need flavour. And when it comes to fish and flavour, you're never going to get that really from fillets of fish. You're going to get it from claws. You're going to get it from heads. So when you put something like a langoustine in, squeeze the head. That is like the most amazing stop cube right there.
Use any combo of fish and shellfish you like, but the secret is to keep the heads on and the fish on the bone.
And now we'll break with white wine. Just a little white wine, half a glass. As that starts to simmer, we go in with some beautiful passata, or you could use a couple of tins of really good tomatoes. Look at that. Have you got those mussels, big boy?
I'm coming now.
Now this has had like 6 or 7 minutes. Let's put this
Oh my God.
on top, right?
Just like Nonna Linda, I'm using fresh mussels to ramp up the taste. Plus, clams and a handful of peas.
The squid here, I'm going to literally just slice up, nice and delicate. Squid is a funny one, isn't it, Janar? You either want to cook it quick
It's between.
or long.
Yeah,
Anything in the between is tough.
it's tough.
The clams, the mussels and the squid, they need 3 minutes max. So we'll put that on and then it's going to start to steam. The mussels and the clams, it's going to be delicious. They'll release their incredible, gorgeous juice.
To make a delicious garlic aioli, simply whisk 2 to 3 egg yolks and slowly add olive oil until it thickens. Squeeze in some lemon juice and hit it with some smashed up garlic and an anchovy fillet and season to taste.
And that's going to completely transform a mayonnaise. When it hits the heat of the broth,
Wow!
it gives it a woof. You ready?
Yeah.
Grab it. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my goodness me.
To mop up the rich sauce, serve with a good old hunk of crusty bread.
Just get some juice onto that bread. That bread's gonna suck it up. Look at the colours, Gennaro. Little bit of this
Just so.
lovely garlic and anchovy aioli, and then we put it on the top.
Yes, yes.
And then if you want to put a few bits of parsley just on top, go for it, go for it. Wow.
Yes, it isn't a wow.
Cooking with all these fresh ingredients in one pot has created layer upon layer of mind-blowing flavour. Topped off with that sublime, creamy, pungent aioli, what a feast.
With flavour like this,
Oh my gosh.
you're going to go nuts. And look at this. As the sauce goes into that bread, it just soaks it all up.
Oh my God.
Little bit of mayonnaise.
Evan.
Wow. It's fast, it's delicious, it's nutritious. And it is a tactile dish. You know, we want flavour. Also, we want to be peeling things like prawns and langoustines. You're going to have some bones in there. Just throw them in a little bowl in the middle of the table. It's fun. I think this dish is absolute homage to Linda, an incredible woman.
And a great cook.
And a great cook.
Next time, we hunt down age-old recipes in feisty Naples.
Poi cuoco, guarda.
I give you my favourite pizza ever. So good, you have to give it a go. And we escape the city for a seafood masterclass.
After so many years, I can still learn cooking.
There's nowhere quite like Italy.
Look how busy it is. I love it.
The landscapes, the people, the history,
It's unbelievable.
and of course, the most amazing food.
Oh. I'm just having a moment.
I love it, and I always have done.
This is like my idea of heaven.
Great food here isn't about Michelin-starred chefs, it's about home-cooked recipes. So in this series, I'm going right to the heart of Italian cooking,
Oh, so good.
to the mamas and the nonnas of Italy.
These are some of the best home-cooked recipes in the world.
They've perfected recipes handed down over generations.
I'm just doing what I'm told. I love it.
I'm travelling far and wide to see what secrets I can learn from these true masters of the kitchen.
Forza, forza! Belli, bravi.
That is a game changer.
And I'll be showing you how to cook up delicious Italian dishes
With flavour like this, you're going to go nuts.
that use the nonna's way to transform the simple into the sublime.
I'm going to have to stop myself eating. It's so good.
This time, we're hunting down age-old recipes in feisty Naples.
Poi cuoco, guarda.
I give you my favourite pizza ever. So good, you have to give it a go. Plus, we escape the city for a seafood masterclass.
After so many years, I can still learn cooking.
I cook up a knockout Neapolitan fish supper with succulent royal bream
This is real cooking. This is absolutely amazing.
and discover an epic 7-layered lasagna like you've never seen before.
I am so excited.
Look at these streets, Gennaro, honestly.
Attenzione, attenzione, carne.
Me and my mentor, Gennaro Contaldo, are in Naples to uncover the secrets of this fiery city's ancient recipes.
Mamma mia.
You have to drive with conviction because these guys are nutters.
I know.
Everyone's, the drivers, the scooters, the people, they're all completely crazy.
Shadowed by the volatile Mount Vesuvius, Naples has a fearsome reputation. It's a colourful city with food to match, from seafood fresh out of the bay to its sensational street food snacks.
The food's going to be amazing. The pastas, the seafood, the shellfish. What else? Pizza. Pizza.
Naples is the south of Italy's largest metropolis and the undisputed pizza capital of the world.
Look, whatever you look is food, food, food.
I want to find out the secrets of the true Neapolitan pizza. And Gennaro's taken me to where this legendary street food was born, the gritty Spanish Quarter.
If you look at anything near climbing distance, there's bars over everything.
In the past, these streets would have been full of nonnas selling the forerunner to the city's famous takeaway.
We all know the pizza from the oven, right? But actually predating that was pizza fritta, like the ultimate sort of street food.
The true Neapolitan pizza.
Gennaro's heard about one nonna who's still making the pizza here the old-fashioned way.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
And I can't wait to see how she does it.
Hey, it's the pizza fritta.
Ciao. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
79-year-old Nonna Fernanda is a local legend. She's been cooking up her pizza fritta on the same spot since she was a girl. And you only survive here with feisty Neapolitan ways.
Poi cuoco, guarda. Così cresce. Cresce. Pizza fritta.
Pizza fritta, look
It's
at that.
pizza fritta.
This is so far away from what most people around the world think a pizza is. La pizza fritta, la pizza originale?
Questa, la pizza originale è questa qui. Ai tempi indietro si facevano oggi a rotta, significa la prendevi adesso e la pagavi dopo 8 giorni. E c'era povertà, non avevano molti soldi da comprarla.
This is like one of the oldest pizzas. People would come along, they'd buy it. If they didn't have any money, they could pay a week later. A little hole in the wall. Yeah. But there would have been many, many shops like this,
Of course, they're almost everywhere, in every corner.
Pizza fritta is a cheap on-the-go snack, but Nonna still prides herself on making the best dough in town. She uses a fine grain of flour called Tipo 00, yeast, water and a pinch of salt.
Tutte e due mani, così.
Use my fingers.
In Naples, it's a sin to use a rolling pin, and when it comes to technique, it's Nonna's way or no way.
No, guarda me. Non molto qua, sennò si rompe, così.
Okay.
Devi allargare qua. Qua non molto, così.
I'm a little bit scared, but I'm going with it. Okay.
Nonna's even more strict about the filling.
Ricotta.
See?
Allarga, bravo. Mozzarella.
Fresca.
Fresco, sempre fresco. Ciccioli.
Ah, interesting. Pork scratchings.
Tu di meno, sennò tu... Oh,
Okay, scusa.
No.
Too much. So pork scratchings, which are going to be delicious, and then crushed tomatoes.
uguale, metti sopra. No, no così, no.
Not like this, see.
No così.
Okay. So it's basically like a kind of pizza ravioli, a calzone, you know?
Vai?
Sì.
Vai. Tu, prendi. Attende per mano.
Nonna flash fries her pizza until the filling is melted and delicious.
Girala.
See?
And the outside is puffy and crisp.
She's brilliant. Proper feisty. She's been doing it so long. You have to kind of go back hundreds of years to remember that actually having an oven and fueling it with wood would be, you know, much more expensive than just boiling fat.
Questo è 100 anni.
Really?
Yeah.
And your mama cooked
Quella
with
era
it?
mamma, sì.
Yeah.
Mamma ha fatto 10 figli.
Really? 10 kids?
Perché non c'era televisione.
Clearly. I've got 5.
7 ne tiene. Saluto. Ok.
Se finito?
Toglia.
Okay.
It's amazing to think that Nonna's entire family lived in this one room, frying up the city's fast food to make ends meet.
Mo mangia.
Grazie. Crispy on the outside,
Yeah.
soft in the middle, melting cheese. You kind of know it's going to be good. Where to start?
Tra poche carte, volete. Sì, prendi.
Grazie. Do you know, what do you think? This is delicious.
I love it.
The blend of ricotta and mozzarella and the pork scratchings, tomatoes, is so good. What's amazing is the recipe hasn't changed in 100 years. Delicioso. Grazie mille.
No, venga a Londra.
Sì, come over.
Vengo a Londra.
We'll have a pizza fritta.
Pizza fritta.
Prima volta, Londra.
Pizza, mangiato oggi e pagato la
La faccio.
Ciao, Fernanda.
Ciao.
Ciao, grazie.
My God, it's good.
Nonna's age-old pizza fritta is the ultimate indulgent street food. Fast, fresh, and flipping tasty. Inspired by Nonna, I want to show you how to make the most amazing pizza at home. But I'm bringing back the oven. My simple pizza recipe will deliver restaurant quality, if not better, from your own kitchen. And just like Nonna Fernanda's, the first step to success is the dough.
So this is a really good Neapolitan-style pizza-based recipe. It's going to look after you. It's really reliable, it's solid, it works every single time, and it's going to be your best friend. So to start the dough, we're going to go in with 700 millilitres of water. Now, the Neapolitan pizzaiolas specify their Neapolitan water. Now, of course, you could say they're just being funny, but actually it's a hard water. You know, it does affect the way the dough works.
Make sure the water is at room temperature and then add 10 grams of salt.
Then we're going to go in with just a little handful of flour. It starts to turn it into a little bit of a batter. It starts to feed the water a little bit. So there's a few rules to the best pizza you can make at home. The flour is tipo 00. It means very fine, okay? And it's strong flour. Now we're going to go in with 10 grams of yeast.
If you can't get fresh yeast, use a 7-gram sachet of the dried stuff.
And that's going to give you a little bit of rise, okay?
And then add the rest of the kilo bag of flour. This will make enough for 6 large pizzas.
So we're going to mix that up, and Gennaro's doing a beautiful job. It will get thicker and thicker. Now, if you've got a machine, brilliant. Go off, have some fun, let the machine do all the work. But who needs a machine when?
We go Gennaro.
Once it's mixed into a smooth paste, pop your dough onto a floured worktop and start the all-important kneading process.
Gennaro, when was the first time you made your first pizza? What age were you?
I think I always made it, one way or the other. Yeah, probably 8, 9.
So this 20 minutes kneading is an investment. That's going to hold the air, and when it gets cooked, that's what's going to give you that crispiness and that sponginess, right?
Cover and rest for another 20 minutes. Roll into a sausage and cut into 6 fist-sized balls.
So once we've got these balls, what we do is we kind of pull it over and underneath. If you've got another way to do it, it doesn't really matter. We want to make these into lovely little balls. And then what I want to do is get a tray and just put some olive oil on the tray. Put in the dough.
Cover and leave to prove in a cool place for at least 6 hours, or even better, overnight. The slow rise will give texture and flavour.
And that is the basis of the most incredible pizza in your home.
The tips to a good dough revealed, I've now got a nifty little trick for getting that crucial crispy bottom.
So in the oven here, there's 2 things. There's a pizza stone and there's a chunk of granite. You can get this from builders merchants, from garden centres. You can get it cut to the size of your oven, right? That is obviously going to hold the heat.
Put your oven on full whack and it's time to tackle those toppings. Starting with the ultimate Neapolitan classic, pizza margherita,
Named after the Queen of Italy. And as far as the Neapolitans are concerned, this is the only pizza. It is a beautiful beginning. If you can get it right, then you're in a really good place.
While Gennaro preps the base, I'll let you into the secret of tomato sauce.
And this is exactly how the official margherita pizza makers would do this, right? We take really good quality plum tomatoes. Plum tomatoes are always the A grade. We're not going to cook it. We're not going to add garlic or herbs, right? We're just going to use our hands and scrunch it, right?
Like Nonna, there's no rolling pin here because we want to protect those springy air bubbles. Instead, let your hands and gravity gently stretch the dough, using your fingers to shape the crust.
This is an easy way to do it. And I create a little board on the side. We call them ellipse. When we put the tomato inside, you know, the tomato won't go out.
Gennaro's going to put about 3 tablespoons of tomatoes onto the pizza now.
Start from always from the middle. Don't overfill. If you overfill, we come a little bit soggy.
And then we've got some cow's milk mozzarella. Not buffalo mozzarella. That's beautiful, but that's really for putting on after the pizza's cooked, so it's so delicate. This is cow's milk, it's drier, okay? So you want about 70 to 80 grams of that lovely mozzarella. And then we want the basil. Now, 5 or 6 leaves, and then a little parmesan.
Just a sprinkle of this rich, tangy cheese will do. Then the final Neapolitan touch, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil.
So then we're gonna take something flat. We've got a little board here. You could use any chopping board. You could use a piece of like cardboard. Rub it with some flour, and then I'm gonna hold it like that. Get a friend to come and just pull it over. Nice and easy. Shape it back into that beautiful round, and he's gonna jiggle it about. And it's really important that you get that jiggle, otherwise it's gonna stick. You've got to get your little flip. Top of the oven, in you go. There you go. Close the door. Don't open it, don't muck about, don't let the heat out, okay? We want it just to cook. The residual heat in that marble or in that stone is gonna get it crispy on the bottom. Yes. Beautiful.
It needs about 5 minutes in the oven, so time to crack on with number 2. The Neapolitans would have me for this, but I can't resist letting you in on my all-time favourite topping.
So good. It's really, really good. If you've never tried it, you have to give it a go.
My ultimate broccoli and spicy sausage pizza.
Gennaro's really beautifully blanched some broccoli. He's used cima di rape, which is like a sprouting broccoli, but you could use any broccoli, it's fine. And then you fry it in a pan of olive oil, chili, garlic, crushed olives, and sausage meat, right? Imagine those flavours.
Be careful not to overload your pizza, or you won't get that gorgeous crispy bottom.
Mozzarella or provolone, what do you prefer?
Well, we use a little bit of provolone on this one.
So provolone, again, you can get this from Italian delis. You can get this from good supermarkets.
Provolone cheese has a smoky flavour and a melt that oozes right across the pizza.
If you can't get provolone, just use a little bit of mozzarella.
Oh my God, this is gonna taste this so good. And the leftover you have, you don't wanna make a pizza, just boil some spaghetti, penne, everything, toss them inside, and hallelujah. Okay, hold it for me, just on the side. Ready?
Sometimes when you move it over, you lose the shape a little bit.
It's all right, we put it back to the shape.
We pull the shape back, but we're still jiggling, right?
Okay.
In we go.
Fantastico.
So the next one we're going to do is slightly left field, but I'm just trying to give you guys the inspiration that hopefully will get you making up great little combinations.
My pizza bianco is like nothing you've ever tried before. There's not a tomato in sight, but an irresistible combo of sweet grapes and red onion, rich oregano and tangy cheese. Delicious.
Peel a red onion, cut it really finely. I'm going to take some lovely grapes, whatever's in season, right? It doesn't matter. When grapes cook on pizza, they're so delicious and they look incredible.
Grab that gorgeous cow's milk mozzarella again and cover the base with little bombs.
No tomato sauce, right? You're just using things like, olive oil, different fragrant vegetables or herbs. It's going to work, trust me.
That's good.
Muddle up some fresh oregano, pine nuts, grapes and onion and give it all a good rub with olive oil.
Don't think that it hasn't got enough topping, right? You want it to be really subtle in what it does. At the same time, you can also add a little pecorino, which is really, really good with the grapes. Remember, the grapes are sweet, the onions are funky, and the cheese is salty. So you really do get a spectacular combination. A little bit of honey.
Why not? Just let me put an extra, this one, I love this one. Yeah, pepper, just a second.
So, with the honey,
yeah,
that's going to work really well.
Drizzly.
With the pecorino and the grapes.
My 3 mouth-watering homemade pizzas with a classic Neapolitan thin base, a crispy crust and killer toppings.
A beautiful margarita. So simple. You got those nice big knots of air bubbles, but it's that fine balance between crispy and soggy and chewy. Brilliant. My favourite, the broccoli, chili, sausage, olive and provolone cheese. Crisp, but also stodgy on the inside. Gorgeous. Come on, let's get in there. That is a fantastic pizza. Oh, that combination, you have to try it. It's so good. Come on, big boy. Red onion.
Yeah, don't
grapes.
drop it. Put that grapes on top there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sweet and sour, funky from the onions and the cheese.
As soon as you break inside those grapes, do you know what? I love it.
Delicious. There's only one thing Neapolitans take as seriously as pizza, and that's coffee. This city is buzzing on the stuff. It's no surprise that these masters of coffee making have strict rules of conduct when it comes to getting their caffeine fix. I love it, and I want to find out how to drink it Naples style. So I've called in on family for the local lowdown. Salvo!
Hi, mate.
Grande.
How are you? Hey, how are you?
Gennaro.
Come are you, Gennaro?
Napoli, your town.
So this is Salvatore, this is my brother-in-law. So you see, I have got a little bit of Italian in the family.
Yeah, but what you had me?
Italian London dad, brother-in-law, both of them trouble. Give me a kind of like 101 on coffee, like Naples style. What's the score?
Napoli has got its own coffee culture. We are kind of unique. Our blend has got a higher percentage of Robusta bean, which are the one producing all the foam.
So more of a cream on the top of the espresso.
And a darker roast.
Most locals make 3 or 4 pit stops a day just for a hit of the hard stuff. And the inside tip is if you knock it back at the bar, it's a fraction of the price.
In Naples, people have espresso all the time, just as a little pick-me-up. We don't drink espresso as much, but that is kind of thought of as more of a kind of the correct way to have coffee, isn't it?
It is. We don't drink cappuccino during the day like you guys.
When are you supposed to stop drinking cappuccino?
Probably after your first one at breakfast.
I want you to give me a coffee that I've never tried before.
Ciro, facciamo al signore inglese un bel brasiliano.
So what's he going
We
to
have
do?
got a shot of coffee. In the meantime, he's going to steam some milk. Like you will do in a cappuccino, but he's only going to use the froth
He's
of the
put
milk.
sugar in there as well.
He's got sugar in Naples. Coffee, no sugar, you need to ask before. That's our little
Really?
habit. True. You need
I
to
didn't know
say,
that.
senza zucchero. Thank you for that.
My God, look at that.
So you have got a single shot of espresso, and you can still see the big froth from the espresso shot. And then there is a dash of froth from the milk. It's no milk, it's just froth.
Just the froth.
And some chalk on the top. And that will give you the same pleasure of a cappuccino, but you won't be drinking a lot of milk. Brasiliano.
Brasiliano. I've never seen that in Britain. That is delicious. It's kind of like a espresso, cappuccino, kind of hot chocolate.
Normally with this, which is quite sweet, come the Neapolitan traditional afternoon cakes.
Okay.
Do you guys want to try some cakes?
Yes.
These look amazing. Right now in Naples, it's carnival time.
Now you're coming at the carnival.
Carnivale in Naples is traditionally a massive blowout before abstaining from indulgent food for the 40 days of Lent. There are some treats that only appear at this time of year.
Is anything here carnival?
There is the chiacchiere. Chiacchiere is a chat. So they look like tongues, and they chat to each other.
These crunchy morsels are deep-fried pasta, sprinkled with icing sugar and lemon zest, served with a decadent dip.
Can you see how kind of knobbly and how light and crispy it is? So it's like the ultimate little kind of dipper, really. And this here, chocolate sauce?
This is sanguinaccio, Jamie. Sanguinaccio means
Is it like the
blood.
ultimate blood?
Sanguinaccio means blood. This was done originally with chocolate and pork blood with some cinnamon.
To use blood, you celebrate the animal you just killed.
Yeah, you'd never waste anything.
We never waste anything. This is what it's all about.
There's rarely blood in sanguinaccio now. Just a delicious dark chocolate cream.
Have a little dip, darling.
Yeah.
I like the idea that they have a pastry or something just for the week of carnival. It's lovely.
You know what?
You know,
That's nice.
From the fast-paced street food to full-on coffee and spectacular cakes, this city's an amazing assault on the senses. But there's another side of this place that we're desperate to discover. Our search for delicious recipes from the city's most incredible home cooks continues. We're swapping the chaos of this fiery metropolis for a slice of island life.
Stretch and breathe, stretch. Breathe in.
Me and Gennaro are going to a little island called Puglia, which is only like half an hour, 40 minutes away. It's where all the locals go for sort of a pilgrimage for the best seafood in the bay.
Shall I put the glasses on?
Yeah, put the glasses on. Come on, we're in Italy now. We've got to like, up our game a little bit.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. My God, what a lot.
The breathtaking pastel-painted island of Puglia is a haven of serenity for strung-out Neapolitans. It's the smallest of the islands of the Bay of Naples, but its seafood is said to be like nowhere else. We're here on the one day of the year where the locals gather to showcase their cherished family recipes.
Look at this.
This is unbelievable.
I want to see what secrets I can learn from the locals who have fished and cooked here their whole lives.
This is like my idea of heaven. So thankfully we're going to get a lovely little masterclass in the cooking of the island.
The nonnas and some old boy nonnos are rustling up the morning's haul in the way only these islanders know how.
Oh, look at this. Come la cucina. Olio.
Sale, alla mente, aceto, un bicchiere d'acqua, un po' d'acqua. Per fine cottura, poi dopo si mette l'origano. Questo origano di Procida che facciamo noi a Procida.
Okay. See, on these islands, for whatever reason, the herbs and the oils and the smell is so intense and incredible.
Questo lo facciamo noi in casa. Questo pesce è stato pescato alle 5 stamattina.
Anchovies laced with mint and oregano. This has got to be a winner.
Senza togliere le spine, la lisca, così, come sta?
Oh my God.
Wonderful.
Ciao, ciao,
How lucky am I, right? Surrounded by these lovely girls. Come si chiama? Fritta di...
Polpette di alici.
They look amazing. Look how gorgeous they are. Just fried. Cosa c'è?
Alici tagliate
anchovies?
piccolini,
So
pezzettini.
just chop it up small. These are fresh anchovies, by the way.
Un po' di pane grattugiato,
Yeah.
formaggio pecorino,
Ok.
parmigiano,
Yeah.
prezzemolo, menduccia e uova.
Okay.
Ne fai uno?
See, no problema. Okay, so like this.
Troppo grande.
No, that's too big.
Dopo viene
Perfect for me.
cucina all'interno. Bravo!
Come on, girls. Now you're being too generous.
Ok, testa. Com'è?
Buonissima.
The island's most famous resident is 60-year-old Nonna Maria.
Piacere, Jamie. Ciao.
She's Progida's only fisherwoman, and when it comes to cooking, she's numero uno.
Cos'è che cucina?
Allora, pesce, zucchine e mandorle.
Wonderful combination. Never ever heard or seen of it before.
Nonna Maria fries onions and courgettes in olive oil, then adds locally caught palamita from the tuna family.
Maria, ma da quanti anni va a pesca?
È una vita.
È sempre da bambina?
Sì, da bambina.
E con chi andava?
E mio padre era pescatore, quindi poi mi sono fidanzata con mio marito che faceva il pescatore, quindi ho continuato.
Ma va a pesca tutti i
Sì,
giorni?
sì. Adesso possiamo mettere il pomodoro.
What I love about this is the combination of the courgettes grated with the beautiful tuna. The colours work so beautiful together. Again, it's the sort of the pale, the green and the red.
Nonna adds the fettuccine and loads it with toasted crushed almonds.
Often on the islands, and often in the south of Italy, you'll see nuts used in pastas, chestnuts, walnuts, hazelnuts. But, you know, here is the almond tree. Oh, fantastic. Go on, my darling.
Maria.
Really, really good. So this is a pecorino?
Sì, sopra un poco.
So this will be interesting, because she hasn't used the pecorino yet. If they do use cheese, it's very subtle. It's more like a seasoning. Yeah, now look, controversial. Oh, see? So there you go. For everyone that says you never put cheese with seafood, you can see the proof. Maria, grazie mille. Look at this. Gennaro, how lucky are we?
We are the best looking people, eh, Jen?
Go on, she's topping us up. She's topping us up. Let's go.
Possiamo, Maria?
Prego.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness me.
It's so good. What's really interesting, the toasted Almonds just lift the whole dish. Sweet tomatoes, such a joy to eat, such a joy.
This recipe is unbelievable. After so many years, I can still learn cooking.
Buonissima.
I can learn so much from the locals who have been cooking up their catch for generations. I can't wait to see the show-stopping centrepiece. It's Nonno Francesco's twist on the classic Neapolitan dish, acqua pazza. Fish poached in what they call crazy water.
Come la cucina?
Nella pentola con pomodoro, cipolla, aglio, prezzemolo, qualche fetta di limone.
It's just got the seaside written all over it.
E quando si va a pesca, tutto il pesce che rimane invenduto, pesce di scarto.
I love how nothing is wasted. The star of the dish is actually the cooking water, the acqua pazza.
What an incredible flavour. It's so delicious.
Oh my God.
He's gone in with the bread. I'm going to go in now, you go in as well.
I'm going there as well.
It's a bit like dunking digestive biscuits in tea, right? You just let them soften up.
All jammy.
Very simple, fragrant ingredients and just a nice big pan and a lot of love. Francesco, buonissimo. Grazie mille.
Discovering the island's secrets has been a revelation, and I'm feeling inspired by Nonno Francesco's party piece. I can't wait to whip up a seafood extravaganza.
So me and Gennaro, we're going to cook a fantastic fish dish. It's called acqua pazza.
Crazy water.
My acqua pazza is a 2-in-1 meal. Delicate, fragrant fish, and that magical broth they call crazy water.
We're going to cook a whole round fish. I think this is something that people often are really, really nervous to cook, so we're going to teach you how to cook it beautifully. So it's succulent and gorgeous. You can apply it to any round fish. So we've got beautiful royal bream today, called royal bream because it's got a little crown around its head like that. So what's going to happen is Gennaro is going to scale and gut the fish, right? He's going to go down to the water to do that. I'll start prepping the veg.
You can ask your fishmonger to do this for you.
So we're going to put a pan on the heat, high heat, right? Remember, acqua pazza, crazy water. It's not going to gently poach, it's going to thunder away, okay? I've got some fennel here.
Just like Nonno Francesco, my crazy water starts with a base of fragrant veg.
And I'm going to cut these veggies so that they cook in the same time it takes to cook that fish, which is about 10 minutes.
I'm whacking in tomatoes, onion, garlic, chilli, and juicy olives.
And the olives, I'm just going to squash. I think people always think you want the olives for their flesh, but actually it's their perfume and their seasoning that we really want.
Let the beautiful veg sizzle in hot olive oil.
Come on, Gennaro.
I'm coming up.
We're going to go in with the tomatoes, the olives, and the garlic, like this. You just toss that, Gennaro.
Yeah, let me just toss it.
OK.
Oh, my God.
So with the fish, something I like to do is just lightly score it about 1.5 centimetres apart. Why do we do this? It helps the heat penetrate the fish, it helps the flavour penetrate the fish, and it looks beautiful. So lay the fish in like that. Look at that. I might just take some fennel and put it into the cavity. And then we're going to go in with white wine until Gennaro says stop.
Go. And up.
Bring that to the boil, chuck in 1 centimetre of water and more herbs. Gorgeous parsley.
Oh my God, it's going to be so good.
It's going to taste delicious. What is also incredible about this acqua pazza crazy water is everything gives to everything, right? The fish gives to the vegetables give to the fish, everything gives to the juice.
You have to get lovely fresh fish.
If you make this with not fresh fish, it's no good. It's no good for anyone.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
10 minutes in the pan and my crazy fish should be cooked to perfection.
Let me just show you how to check if the fish is cooked. Come. So go to the thickest part of the fish, which is always up near the head. If that flesh comes away from the bone, you're done. Don't cook it anymore.
Blow because it's too hot.
The flavour, the depth of flavour is phenomenal. You would never achieve that with a fillet of fish, right? This is real cooking. This is absolutely amazing.
I just love this dish. Oh my gosh.
top it off with a zingy herb garnish that's lemon zest, chopped parsley and fennel leaves.
Acqua pazza, such a beautiful thing.
Acqua pazza, my delicately succulent royal bream, bathed in that fragrant, colourful broth of crazy water.
Oh my God.
Gennaro, should we go and sit down and enjoy this?
I got it. Oh,
Come on.
let's do it.
Let's go.
What a treat to put all we've learnt from Progida's dons of seafood into practice.
The juices are so good. All I want to do is dunk some bread in that.
I just love it.
Luckily for us, locals are just as passionate about their meat. In another corner of this captivating island, Gennaro's heard of a nonna with a reputation for cooking up an Italian classic, just not as we know it. And like those cakes in the cafe, it's a yearly treat before Lent.
She's doing a carnival lasagna specific to this island. And I think that's really, really interesting because we always think of lasagna as being the same thing, sort of a Bologna-style lasagna. But of course, every single part of Italy has their own type of lasagna. And I don't think you would ever have seen anything like this.
I can't wait to get inside and check it out.
Buongiorno!
Oh, buongiorno.
Nonna Tita.
Ciao.
Nonna Tita has spent all of her 70 years here on the island, and she's renowned for her generations-old recipe of a 7-layered lasagna like no other.
So, lasagna?
Lasagna di carnevale, però lasagna di Procida.
So this is the lasagna for the carnival, specific to Procida. La lasagna, la ragù con lasagna?
No. Si fa soltanto, ci sono degli strati di spaghetti.
Spaghetti. No lasagna?
No lasagna, solo fuori una sfoglia di lasagna, frolla, pasta frolla.
Wow. So this is really interesting. We've got the pastry on the outside, and then we've got spaghetti as the layers. So immediately, this lasagna is nothing like anything that I grew up with. This is very exciting.
And the surprises don't stop there. Rather than traditional beef bolognese, Tita creates layers of spaghetti with different types of pork.
Spaghetti ancora con polpettine.
Mm-hmm. Local families have their own unique twist on this hotly anticipated dish. And for Tita, it's her meatballs.
We're going to lighten those meatballs with some bread, and when that bread's stale, they often rehydrate it, sometimes with water, in this case, milk. So it's just going to suck it up and make it soft again.
Te passa qua.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Stringe forte, forte. Bravo.
So we've got one big handful of the rehydrated breadcrumbs. We've got about 300 grams of minced pork and beef.
Poi mettiamo 4 uova.
4 eggs.
That's way more than I'd ever use, but there's always something to learn from nonnas. Next, it's in with parmesan and black pepper.
See, no problemo. So we're going to just mix this up. So this is quite a wet meatball mix, but let's see what's going to go on. This is fascinating.
Then to finish, a chopped garlic clove and a sprinkle of parsley.
As I'm mixing this is getting thicker and thicker.
Time to get rolling.
No, piccole così, guarda. Così. Polpettine.
See? So little meatballs.
Little piccole polpette.
Yeah.
Così.
Nonna rolls the meatballs super small so they stay compact in the lasagna.
And there's many different ways to make meatballs. This is the joy of cooking, right? Seeing how different people do things differently.
There's also an incredible smelling mixed meat ragu on the go.
So Nonna Tita, pomodoro, salsicce,
passato, salsicce, carne di prosciutto di maiale, polpette e tracci sono costatelle di maiale.
Traditionally, Italians avoid meat during Lent. So this spectacular concoction is all about using up leftovers in one final splurge.
So what's interesting, you know, she's got rib meat, the little, like the kind of belly pork area, you know, just much cheaper to buy, but also full of flavour.
The spaghetti is cooked al dente before it's divided between different meats to create 4 of the 7 lasagna layers.
Quanti anni Recite.
Da quanti anni?
Sì. Molto vecchio?
Sì, sì, più di 100 anni, perché io l'ho imparata dalla mia nonna, la mia bisnonna.
Right. So she learned it from her great-grandmother, so it's more than 100 years old.
E lei era molto calma, ci impiegava tanto tempo, tutto il giorno, 2 giorni, perché preparava tutti questi impasti, tutte queste polpettine, sempre. Ricotta, no,
Okay.
non si usa la besciamella.
So, lasagna non bechamel?
No, besciamella, no.
Ricotta?
Ricotta.
That's
A Napoli, Procida, si usa ricotta nella lasagna.
Nonna adds a dollop of that delicious ragu to the fresh ricotta and whisks it into a silky sauce mixed in with rich smoked provola cheese.
This is a bit of an assembly job. And, you know, you wouldn't want to do it every week because there's a lot of love and care gone into it. But for this time of year, when Carnival's on, perfect, perfect. I imagine people would get so excited waiting to try this every single year.
Finally, it's time to build this ridiculously epic lasagna.
So we've done it now. We've got all these beautiful layers ready to go. We have the pastry. We've got the spaghetti with the parmesan and the sausage and a little bit of the cooking fat. We've got spaghetti here with the ragu, no meat, just a little bit of parmesan. We've got the meatballs, ragu and spaghetti. We've got the ricotta, provolone and parmesan. Then we've got the salami and a little bit of the ragu and the spaghetti there. And then we've got the meatballs and the ricotta. Okay, let's do it. Forza lasagna, come on.
The first layer is pastry, followed by spaghetti and sausage.
Noi cerchiamo di mettere sempre un po' più alta al centro.
Always make it a little bit more chunky in the middle, I think because they're looking for that sort of mounded effect.
Another 3 layers of spaghetti are crowned with a layer of meatballs before topping it all off with Nonna's rich, cheesy sauce.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, you can take all the history and the culture out of it. It's a pasta pie. You know it's going to be good, right? This looks like no lasagna you've ever seen before. I've never seen anything like this.
This beast of a lasagna takes 1 hour and 15 minutes in the oven. Tita then rests it for another hour before we can finally tuck in.
Come on, mangiare!
Gennare,
Mangiare, I love it. When you call me to eat, I love it.
7-layer lasagna topped with crunchy pastry. Magnificent.
I want to show you something, look. Look at this. You see the layers?
No bechamel.
No bechamel, no. Just
ricotta, ricotta.
Ah, can't wait.
Allora mi lasciate.
So you get something I've never had before, the crunchy pastry, but with the soft pasta, the sweet tomatoes, but then the smoky provola cheese. Texturally, absolutely incredible.
Every little bite I've been through, there is a flavour. Buonissimo.
So good.
Nonna Tita's recipe is a fun, festive family dish. Inspired by my journey, I want to show you a brilliant celebratory dish that's great for sharing with your friends and family.
I've just picked a whole load of wild herbs and we're going to do the most incredible kebabs, okay?
My barbecued lamb kebabs with juicy pancetta, fresh herbs and crunchy bread is a cracking feasting dish perfect for a shindig in the sunshine.
I want to kind of have a combination of simple things that all help each other. So for that, I've got leg of lamb, an amazing cut. We've got the liver and kidneys as well. What I want to do is instead of big old chunks, I mean, I grew up actually having kebabs, not that it's wrong, sort of cut into big chunks like that. And I kind of want to sort of go against that. I want little slithers, okay? Little random cuts. Just think mouthful, and we'll skewer those up, and they'll be fantastic. Now let's talk about the offal. I definitely want to really wafer thin cut the liver and the kidneys. And even if you think you're not into that, like, you just got to bear with me and trust me, because this is going to give authenticity and flavour to this whole kebab. Then we've got some pork, some beautiful pancetta. This fat here is going to really take care of your lamb while it cooks. So the idea is you want this thing cooking over coals, right? And as it's kind of charring and going caramelised, the fats are melting and everything you want to flavour each other.
And to soak it all up, slice some crusty bread to match the size of your meat.
Think like the best croutons you've ever had in your life. It's going to be great.
Then onto the marinade, made with beautiful fresh herbs, oregano, thyme and sage. Now just add salt and black pepper and a couple of crushed garlic cloves.
To really bash it up to a little paste. It'll look like nothing, but it will give everything. And then it comes to life with a good couple of tablespoons of vinegar and about twice as much olive oil.
Just give it a whirl.
Oh, you could put that over grilled vegetables. You could have that on little crostinis. My Lord, on roasted birds. That's a really good technique for anything. So let's go in with the meat into a bowl, the herbs, the offal. We're going to throw it all in.
And mix it all up with a load of beautiful fresh bay leaves.
And then we're going to dress it in this heavenly little marinade.
If you marinate this for an hour, it'll be delicious. But if you do it overnight, it's out of this world.
So now's the fun bit. You can make up your little kebabs. So a bit of lamb, bit of herb, a little bit of bread. It's going to suck up that flavour. Next to the bread, let's put the pancetta. It's going to be so good. Load it up. I think this is really good fun. I mean, I think you can do big ones, small ones. So look, there's my one done.
Gennaro's boiled some potatoes for one belter of a side dish.
Whack it down there, mate. Yeah. So look, I wanted to do mashed potato, and I think it's an interesting one because a lot of people say that's not Italian, that's very British to have mashed potato. Absolute rubbish. Yes. The Italians, they love potatoes. So check this out. This is mashed potato Italian style. They use these rices, but of course you can use a masher, no trouble at all. So Gennaro, talk us through mashed potato Italian style.
Well, it's so easy. You can use pecorino cheese or Parmesan cheese.
So pecorino is a sheep's cheese, and it's tangy and it's delicious, and you can use it just like Parmesan, but...
Some parsley on top, olive oil.
So we use olive oil, just like butter, extra virgin olive oil.
There it goes.
And then watch the old master at work. Italian mashed potato. It's delicious.
Mash done, get your kebabs on the barbie.
So look, I'm just going to take care of these little skewers. And we want to spend 10 minutes just really making this golden and gorgeous. I was thinking about a little something to go, just a little kiss of something over this with the mash.
I know what you want. You want some lovely peppers.
Yes.
Flash fry some dried peppers in a splash of olive oil for 30 seconds.
And you can just crush them. And they'll be like little sort of shards of sweetness. So look at that. So then put some of that lovely oil over the top. Little flecks of those chili peppers, let them just fall off, Gennaro. Go on.
My mighty lamb kebabs, marinated in those fragrant herbs with juicy pancetta, crunchy sweet peppers, and propped up by a bed of rich, fluffy, Italian-style mashed potato.
You can kind of carve it at the table, and it all starts to just fall apart. And look.
Oh, my.
Mashed potato with a difference. A kebab with attitude. Simple ingredients, but put together with love.
And for me, that captures the spirit of this extraordinary region. From the island haven of Puglia to the sprawling Neapolitan metropolis, the passion of these fiery southern Italians produces knockout food every time. Next time,
Look at the view!
we hunt down the undiscovered gems of southern Italy.
It smells incredible.
I give the classic Sunday roast an Italian makeover.
It's going to be amazing.
And learn the secrets of perfect pasta from a ninja nonna.
Hallelujah!
quite like Italy.
Look how busy it is. I love it.
The landscapes, the people, the history.
It's unbelievable.
And of course, the most amazing food.
Oh. I'm just having a moment.
I love it, and I always have done.
This is like my idea of heaven.
Great food here isn't about Michelin-starred chefs, it's about home-cooked recipes. So in this series, I'm going right to the heart of Italian cooking.
Oh, so good.
To the mamas and the nonnas of Italy.
These are some of the best home-cooked recipes in the world.
They've perfected recipes handed down over generations.
I'm just doing what I'm told. I love it.
I'm travelling far and wide to see what secrets I can learn from these true masters of the kitchen.
Forza, forza! Belli, bravi!
That is a game changer.
And I'll be showing you how to cook up delicious Italian dishes
With flavour like this, you're going to go nuts.
that use the nonna's way to transform the simple into the sublime.
I'm going to have to stop myself eating. It's so good.
This week, in search of tasty rustic recipes, we're off the beaten track in one of Italy's most undiscovered regions.
Look at that pasta. It's beautiful.
Nonna Teresa has a thing or two to teach me.
Però quando fai queste qua, fa tupino.
Before I serve up my own simply delicious spicy sausage pasta.
It's beautiful. It's a thing of joy.
Plus, I get up the mountains to a culture that time forgot.
So this is the old way to cook.
And give your Sunday roast leg of lamb a sensational Italian spin.
What I love is it's kind of like blushing and juicy on the inside.
It's going to be amazing.
I mean, you know what, Gennaro? It feels like we're absolutely in the back of beyond. I never ever thought the south of Italy would look like that.
Look at that eagle there. Look, can you see it?
Yeah. I told you I saw that.
Oh, God, look how big it is.
I'm in breathtaking Basilicata with my old pal and mentor, Chef Gennaro Contaldo, unlocking the secrets of cucina povera, meaning poor man's food.
I reckon the food here might be some of the most truly vintage, authentic Italian cooking that we might see on this whole journey.
This is the secret of Italy, and the food is going to be amazing.
Basilicata is a region in the deep south of Italy, and our first stop is in the ancient town of Matera. Matera was once called the disgrace of Italy. It was so poor, whole families were still living in caves as recently as the 1950s. Since then, the town has made a spectacular recovery, and this incredible place is now celebrated as a World Heritage Site.
How's your legs holding out?
Mine, okay, not bad. What a place you take me.
Woo! Look at the valley going down. Look at all those caves.
Look at that, incredible. I walked up to this mountain. I can't believe I did it.
Yeah, but you're quite good for a young whippersnapper. Listen to the bells.
Breathe in, breathe properly.
Now we've made it all the way up here.
Right.
I think we should go all the way down there and have a picnic.
You must have been shocking.
It's too windy up here. Come on then, let's go down.
In the spirit of the city's humble past, I'm going to turn simple local ingredients into a sumptuous picnic.
This area of Italy, in Basilicata, absolutely love. They adore these beautiful long peppers. Look at this. So this recipe is homage to one beautiful thing, peppers.
Amazing sweet and sour peppers with oozy burrata cheese heroes this glorious veg. It'll lift your spirits whether you're at home or, like me and Gennaro, in the great outdoors.
Let's prep the peppers. Stick your thumb in and then tear it open. Don't want to waste any. Keep all the flesh. Shake out all of the pips though.
Long strip, thin, long strips.
And I'm going to do nice, kind of inch thick.
Yeah,
Bit thinner?
A little bit thinner.
In the pan, Gennaro's going to add some olive oil and we're going to bring out the natural sweetness in these beautiful peppers.
The secret to this dish is to cook the peppers low and slow, intensifying their natural flavours.
This is New Season's garlic, right? For about 4 weeks, you can use the whole thing, all the way up here. It's almost like a giant garlic spring onion. Fantastic. OK, so I'm going to chop this garlic up. It's a bit rough and ready, that's absolutely fine. And what's going to be amazing is me and Gennaro are going to enjoy it as a little Italian picnic, an antipasti. But this pepper dish, you could put on pizza, you could put in a frittata, so you could put it on
panini,
toast.
you can do a lovely
It's a
panini.
lovely general master recipe to make the most of peppers, which I think we don't really make the most of peppers, really. So the garlic goes in.
As the peppers start to soften, take this to the next level with some more classic Italian ingredients.
I haven't got salt with me because we kind of packed light.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put some capers in whole. Now, using olives and capers to season. It's going to be amazing.
The capers and olives will pack a real savoury, fragrant punch.
Look, what Gennaro's doing is really important. Go on. See how he's squashing that? That's going to get the maximum flavour out. Yeah, oh, nice toss, Gennaro. You still got it, bro.
Yeah, yes, I still got it.
And Gennaro has done ever so well getting up this mountain. A little bit of trekking.
Yeah, it was.
You're very proud of yourself.
But look where we are. I can come up here when I'm 100 years old because it's so beautiful. Listen, right at the end, because we don't have a vinegar, we squeeze a little bit of lemons.
So sweet and sour, let's just talk about agrodolce, sweet and sour. And whatever culture around the world you want to kind of focus on, whether it's kind of Chinese cooking or even kind of the piquance you get in a barbecue sauce in America, this sweet and sour, it tantalises your taste buds.
Yes.
So that's your sweetness. And then your sour, we haven't got vinegar, that's what you would normally use, but actually, he always, I mean literally, he always carries lemon with him. Come on, let's get a bottle of wine going.
Yeah.
Smell, chin chin.
Salute.
Salute.
Look at that. Viva Matera! La Basilicata.
Look at this.
Nearly ready?
Now, Gennaro.
Yeah.
Have you got some?
Yes.
I want to show you this herb. This is all over the place here. This is called summer savoury.
Oh, my God.
It's a bit like thyme meets rosemary meets a bit of oregano. It's very, very nice. We've got the bitterness from the summer savoury. This is going to be the most incredible mouthful of gorgeousness. Gennaro, squeeze some lemon juice in. This is the final flourish. 1, 2, 3,
go. Yeah.
I want you to sort of embrace this recipe because it doesn't matter what you're going to do with it. This is the way to get flavour in peppers. And we're going to just serve it quite proudly with some toast and some burrata. Now, burrata, it means burro, butter. If you like mozzarella, this is the Ferrari.
Of
And
mozzarella.
honestly, it's in the supermarkets, right? You can get it now. It's worth having a little look.
Give it the right knife.
And if I just put my knife in here like this,
yeah,
we can open it up.
And look at that. All the creamy.
So literally, like, halfway through the process, they kind of get fresh curds in, and then they wrap it. And what you get is like this oozing, kind of gorgeous, incredible mozzarella like you've never had before.
You get the fresh, creamy of a mozzarella.
Look at that. So see the curds inside? Absolutely.
Pieces.
This rich, creamy burrata is a speciality of this region and works perfectly with my sweet and sour peppers.
God, look at that beautiful pepper, you know.
All I need now is a hunk of good sourdough bread.
This whole area is super famous for their bread as well. So look, there we go. We're now waiting for the toast. And it's actually a kind of nice excuse to talk about flavour and vegetables and cooking vegetables. So we put a lot of love there into one thing. Easy, easy, love, right? If you're trying to serve up veggies like super hot, you can never taste it, right? Let it cool down, let it be warm, and you get to taste so much more. So, a few little flowers on top. So I'm using wild garlic flowers. Sweet and pungent, light garlic flavour. And look, this is the thing about this bread. The contrast between crunch and golden, and then when you open it out, it's so light and fresh. It's so good. That is insanely good. It's so good.
Don't need to, it's so nice.
And that pepper recipe is like a gift. It's like the mother of all pepper recipes. You can do so much from that.
Oh, my gosh.
Get in there. Use the bread to get the cheese. Get that in there. It'll be the best little mouthful ever.
Sweet, silky, soft peppers with oozy burrata cheese on crisp, crusty bread. This is a picnic I won't ever forget.
Out of 100, how happy are you right now?
I'm the happiest man in the world at this minute.
So happy. The happiest food moments in my life have been versions of camping and picnics. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is indeed.
All you need is some good food and a good friend, and you're sweet. So, guys, what are you waiting for?
This is good. Bless you. Salute.
The next day, me and Gennaro are back on the road to explore more of this extraordinary region.
How lucky are we to be doing this trip together after all those years when I first came to you when I was 18 years old, working in the basement of the Neal Street restaurant. Who would have thought?
I've come to Basilicata to learn the secrets of its unique cuisine, because this humble home cooking is some of the simplest but most delicious food you can find in Italy.
That whole thing about cucina povera brings out resourcefulness, creativity, and how do you stretch food? How do you get flavour when you've got very little ingredients?
The people here have survived by making something out of nothing. In particular, they're known for the most phenomenal pasta.
Do you want to know a little fact?
Go on, tell me.
OK, the first pasta ever recorded on the Italian mainland was in Basilicata.
No.
Yeah. By an Italian Latin poet.
You do research very well.
Mate, I read my books, and I tell you what, each one of these different villages around here, they all make their own little pastas in different ways, different shapes, different sauces. I want to see the way they make it, the way they touch it.
Yes.
I want to learn just what makes this region's pasta so special. Me and Gennaro have tracked down the grand dame of pasta around here, Nonna Teresa.
Ciao, buongiorno. Dove Nonna Teresa?
Nonna Teresa abito lì.
Allora.
Nonna Teresa, ciao Teresa.
Ciao.
Ciao, zia Teresa. Buongiorno.
Grazie.
Buongiorno.
85-year-old Nonna Teresa is a ninja in the kitchen. She's been making pasta her whole life, cooking up a storm for local weddings and celebrations.
Questo signore qua vuole imparare a fare la pasta come si deve.
Ma voi non siete capaci a fare quel che faccio io.
She may doubt my abilities, but I'm keen to learn. First lesson is no eggs. They were a luxury people couldn't afford. So here it's just durum wheat flour, salt and warm water.
Just the way she's touching the dough, moving it, the silence. It's a lovely ritual, isn't it? Feels like a very special moment, doesn't it, Gennaro?
It is indeed. I take all in.
Io bevo 7 anni quando contato a fare i maccheroni.
Che quando ero piccolo
non si poteva bere niente quando noi siamo cresciuti. Sì, io a 15 anni ho visto di scarpa, andata sempre per piedi per terra.
See?
Sì, sì.
You just can't imagine it, can you? Her mum and dad went working in the fields all day. She was making the dinner, making the pasta at 7. Really, really poor, you know, survival food. I mean, that is what cucina povera was, wasn't it? Survival. So we're letting the pasta rest now because it needs to relax once you've kneaded it. It gets tight. You need it to be flexible and stretchy, so we're letting it rest.
10 minutes later, and she's off.
Andiamo.
See?
Nonna Teresa is famed for making manate, a type of pasta said to be so technically challenging it's virtually disappeared. I can't wait to see this lost art in action.
She's basically making a continual circle. Have you ever seen this?
Never.
I have got no idea what she's going to
No,
do, but I'm so excited to see it. So she's made a massive circle, like a long, long worm, and then she's clutched it together in her hand. She's sort of just gently massaging, squeezing, and she's making it sort of slowly, slowly thinner and thinner. She's twisted like a figure of 8. Gee whiz, I've never seen this. It's like a handful of bangles. It's absolutely amazing.
These thick ribbons of pasta are often eaten with rich tomato sauce or beans and chickpeas.
Poi quando rappa fai così,
Oh, now she breaks it.
faccio io così, quando è più lunga più meglio fai.
Posso provare?
Prende la pasta, taglia per metà.
Sì.
Coglie candevezza. Bravo, eh?
Si sappaia bene.
Yeah.
Rotonda.
La fa pina.
You can see that what you don't want to do is break
Poi
it.
metti grambiula, mettila più qua. Prende la farina e la mette.
Now I'm going to sprinkle some flour. See? No?
Sì, dai.
I've made some pasta in my time, but this is by far one of the most fiendish. I can see why it's a skill that takes years to master.
I know it's not. I know it's not perfect.
No.
Sì, ma non troppo stento però, eh.
She's saying don't go too high.
Lascialo un po'. A così sai. Lavora. Ma l'hai visto come si fanno? Ma purtroppo che non me lo farò.
I'm pleased to have entertained Nonna at least. She really is the doyenne of pasta making.
It's not just making a giant sausage. You got to be able to feel it right.
I don't want to try myself.
Devo fare un'altra cosa. Maccherone con il ferro.
It's such a privilege to see how this region's incredible pastas are made, and I'm determined to nail them. Next lesson, making macaroni using a skewer.
Hai visto come ho messo il ferro? Io, passando i maccheroni, che non ho manco capelli a destra, e ora devo fare per tutto. Non la andare troppo, Faccio leggera la mano.
I've never felt under pressure so much.
Manca troppo la mano.
I think that's quite nice.
Yeah, ha fatto bene quello, sì.
La fa buona, ma no, se non la fai male, manco bene fa.
Okay. It's all the subtle things that she does. You got to be able to feel it right.
It's had to be light and gentle.
Okay, next one.
Però quando fai queste qua, fa stupino.
Nonna, this is a big moment for me, and you seem to be finding it very amusing.
To get the thumbs up from this macaroni master, I'm gonna need more practice. So while she takes a break, I'm carrying on rolling.
She's having a rest now, and guess what? Now I'm knocking them out, and she hasn't seen one of them. Ciao. She's properly taken the mickey out of me. Oh, you've seen it? Oh, yeah. Hallelujah!
It's time to cook.
Come on, girl. Let's have a little rave up.
Nonna Teresa's promised to show me her favourite recipe, the macaroni topped with spicy peppers and crunchy pangrattato breadcrumbs. First up, she's using a dried sweet pepper.
So they have these bigger chili peppers here, milder, sweeter chili, very, very famous of this area, that she's tearing. She's taken the seeds out of. She kind of fries them, makes them blister.
This is a classic cucina povera trick, using big flavours to make a little go a long way.
And then she's taken them out.
Questa si fa così.
Ah, okay.
Good.
Gennaro, you wait till you see this.
Stando.
Sì, no problema.
Sì.
Next, a couple of cloves of garlic. Then, a surprise ingredient.
So this is horseradish. I've never seen it with a pasta. So this is a really unusual, undiscovered pasta as far as I'm concerned. La faccio io?
Va bene.
Okay.
Ma pulita, buona scarpa.
Okay.
Quello devo fare.
Sì.
Grazie qua.
Sì. This is lovely wild horseradish. This grows all over many parts of Italy. Oh, Nonna Teresa.
Oh, ma no!
I might even cry.
Non lo sapeva.
Oh.
Woo!
The grated fresh horseradish is fried up with the breadcrumbs to make a crunchy pangrattato.
Have I seen anything like this before? Never.
Never.
Known as poor man's Parmesan, this is what people would use when they couldn't afford cheese.
That's the kind of genius thing about these ladies, you know. Because they can cook, when times were tough, they would duck and dive and create beautiful things out of not very much. So in with the pasta. Our lovely Nonna's gone to sit down. She's having a little rest. It's going to be all right, Nonna. We're going to cook the pasta for about 7 minutes, OK? It will float to the top. Should be floating now. There you go. Nonna Teresa, the pasta's cooked. This lovely, sweet, spicy chili oil. Look at that. Then we're going to finish it with the pancrettata.
I can't wait to taste it.
Look at that pasta. It's beautiful.
È buono, eh? Buon appetito.
Grazie altrettanto a voi.
Absolutely delicious. Never had a pasta like this ever before in Italy. It's not chili hot. It's just like sweet, really gentle.
Adesso tengo 85 anni. Ancora dice, ancora facciamo carne che la blendare ti porta. Io sono nato da quella tendenza. No, chi non chiude il laccio non finisce.
Grazie mille, Nonna Teresa.
Prego.
Teresa, ma questo è proprio buonissimo.
When you talk about people that didn't have shoes until they're 15, you think that's from a history book from 200 years ago? No, that's her life.
Yeah.
And actually, you know, being able to knock up a really delicious meal that you can enjoy and makes you feel all homely, if you've got nothing, is a massive gift, isn't it?
Of course.
It's a blessing.
I feel very privileged because as I am older than you, I still learn so much now.
Nonna Teresa has shown us just how creative you can be with a few pence worth of ingredients. And I want to have a go at harnessing that cucina povera magic in my next dish.
I've got a pasta dish that is going to blow your mind, that is absolutely inspired by Nonna Teresa.
This spicy sausage and sweet pepper pasta is deceptively simple, but tastes outrageously good.
It's an absolute home run of a pasta sauce. So, I'm going to put a good old lug of olive oil in the pan. I've got a dried hot chilli. Shake the seeds out. We don't want those seeds. And a dried pepper. These are sweet. These are not hot. Right, so look in supermarkets, you'll find there is actually dried peppers in good supermarkets, and if you can't find them, you could just use a little level teaspoon of sweet paprika, okay? So just take the stalk off and shake out the seeds, and just like Nonna Teresa, I'm gonna tear in these peppers, like that. And then, of course, the hot spicy one, make it a little bit smaller. This has got heat, this has got attitude. It's always good to know your dried chilies if they're hot ones. You can have a little taste. If they're super hot, you know, you can use a little less.
Fire in some fresh thyme to infuse that oil with some really heady herby aroma.
So just take those lovely leaves off the stalk. Look at the chilies and the peppers. They've gone from a kind of dusty colour to a gorgeous, crispy, shiny, deep red colour. And I'm going to sprinkle that on the finished dish later. Cut up the onion. As far as cutting's concerned, this method is the safest and easiest, no matter what your age, right? You know, you've got a hand up here, hand up there, and everything's out of the way. And you just stop chopping when it's the kind of consistency and size that you want it, right? So, as it's for a sauce, we've gone kind of fine-ish.
Time for the hero of this dish.
It's quite a big old sausage. It's got a fair old bit of girth on there.
I'm using local Lacanica sausage, but any quality spicy sausage will work a treat.
I'm just going to use that fork to sort of bring out the pork. I'm only using one sausage, and this sauce will feed 4 to 6.
A rich sausage like this Lacanica is a great way to make a little meat go a long way.
Now, I'm taking the skin away because there's no need for it.
Mash up the meat, and then in with a handful of chopped onion and garlic.
Move that around in all that beautiful flavoured oil. We want to keep frying it to bring the sweetness out in the onions.
After 10 minutes of simmering, add half a glass of white wine. Let that reduce, then whack in a tin of plum tomatoes.
I can promise you this sauce is a real win-win. It's a crowd pleaser. Sweet tomatoes, sweet onions, gorgeous sausage and gentle spice. This kind of crushing action of the onions, the sausage and the tomatoes, it's extracting and bruising out flavour. Nonnas just extract flavour from very little. You know, if you can cook and you're up against hard times, the ways and the ideas they come up with to create flavour and happiness and deliciousness is amazing. Let that just blip away for like 15, 20 minutes, and that's your sauce pretty much done.
This sauce would be knockout with any dried pasta, but I would love you to have a go at making it fresh.
Now, I've got the dough exactly the same as Nonna Teresa's, right? The durum wheat flour with warm water, a bit of salt, and I've come up with a new pasta shape that's not only beautiful, that is really, really easy that you guys could try at home. I mean, this is literally child's play. Roll it out to the thickness of your little finger. Right? You can see mine is far from perfect, right? And some are fatter than others. It doesn't matter.
To make this brilliantly simple pasta shape, I've come up with a cheeky little trick.
The back of a grater. Pick up this and just rub it off, right? Look at that. There's so much fun to do and so easy. The job and purpose of the pasta is to hold the sauce. And I think this is quite a robust pasta shape, you know, perfect for sausage and chili and stuff like that. I kind of quite like the fact that they're all a bit uneven. That's homemade.
You've done well. It's blessed. It looked like a little hedgehog.
Little hedgehog.
Yeah.
How do you say that in Italian?
Porco spino.
Porco spino. So we got a new pasta, porco spino.
Look at that, it's so nice. Can you imagine all the sauce we're catching it?
OK, the water's boiling, so let's cook it, Gennaro.
Come on, let's do it.
In we go. They'll take about 4 minutes to cook.
Next up, I want some grated hard cheese to add a luxurious oozy finish and a little tang.
Of course, try different things. Parmesan, pecorino. We're using caciocavallo because that is classic to this area. Just grate a nice handful of that. Look at this. They look amazing. So in we go with the pasta. And then we're going to put some of this beautiful, gorgeous sausage sauce on. And then some of this beautiful cheese on top. You can see how that wonderful local cheese is getting stringy. I'm almost dressing this pasta like a salad, right? And if it feels a little bit too heavy, take a little bit of that cooking water and just loosen it. Make it light. I just want to finish it with some of these fantastic, crispy bits of chili.
My cracking homemade pasta with soft, sweet peppers and succulent, spicy sausage. Delicious.
Oh my God, can almost cry.
Wowzers. Beautiful, spiced chili and tomato sauce with porco spino pasta. If you've never made pasta before, that's one to have a go at and have some fun. Enjoy yourself. And if you end up with a plate of food like that, you'll be so, so pleased. We just take your time. We have every time you get tired, we'll have a conversation.
Okay, I'm tired.
What do you want to talk about?
Anything. Let's move on again.
We're continuing our journey in the remote Lucania National Park. I've dragged my dear mate Gennaro up yet another of Basilicata's spectacular mountains in search of the region's most incredible home-cooked recipes.
Should we just look at the view for a second?
Yeah, let's have a rest. Beautiful.
We're actually above the clouds. That's amazing.
This is shepherd's country, and we're about to meet a traditional shepherding family who've promised to show us a lamb dish they've been cooking around here for centuries.
He's supposed to have the best lamb in Basilicata. I don't know about you, but look.
Oh, look, yeah.
Everything is so lush and gorgeous, and this time of year, when all the wildflowers out, that's going to affect the flavour of the lamb massively.
I can't wait to see how the shepherds cook the lamb and what I can learn from their ancient recipe.
How far are we gonna go?
Just to the top.
But do you see where the top is?
You'll be all right.
Ciao!
Hey!
Ciao!
Amira!
Jamie, piacere.
Hello, come stai?
Domenico and his 80-year-old mum, Nonna Rosina, are fifth-generation shepherds that still cook the traditional way.
Da quanti anni lei sta qui in montagna?
Da molto sto in montagna. Andando per tre.
Prima qua i pastori erano uno dietro all'altro, oggi siamo rimasti in pochi proprio.
Così la cucina?
Questo cuciniamo il piatto tipico, la pastorale.
Sì, pastorale.
Questo è un piatto molto antico. Sì, I nostri antenati così ce l'hanno lasciata.
Under Nonna's watchful eye, Domenico gets started on chopping up the lamb.
A me taglia e pane cucinato in d'acqua.
Look at that pot, Janar.
Oh, God.
Wow.
I won't take it anyway.
Mate, they've cooked some meals in that. Beautiful. So we're going to put the lamb in there.
Pastori, quando facevano la transumanza, era un piatto più facile da poter fare strada facendo, anche a causa dei lupi che distruggono i greggi. Non li puoi rimanere neanche un secondo che subito se li prendono.
No, it's hard, isn't it, Gennaro? I mean, it's not like farming sheep in the UK. You can't leave them unattended. You got wolves running about.
This is why most of the year they live with the sheep, and they stay up to the mountains, and they eat whatever they can get hold of it. Nella maniera che la cuciniamo è solo la spalla d'agnello.
Tutto il resto.
So basically, the whole lamb is going in the pot.
The resourceful shepherds always made sure nothing from the animal goes to waste.
So you've got the ribs in there.
Using every bit of the lamb.
You're going to get so much flavour from these bones, so it's going to need some cooking.
Yeah.
So I think we might see a sunset. Simple stew.
For flavour, it's in with some celery, a few onions and some beautiful foraged herbs.
Tima, Silvatica, just wild thyme. It's everywhere around here.
Whilst the pastorale blips away for an hour, Domenico and Rosina knock up another regional classic, a potato hot pot.
Adesso stiamo condendo le patate arraganate. Un filo di olio, origano, aglio, un pomodorino.
Fantastic.
E l'agnello.
Okay.
Lamb's the star of the show again, but for this dish, they've saved the most tender cuts.
What I really love about this is it's like an upside-down Lancashire hot pot, but Italian style, Basilicata style. Oh, a nice big old pinch of oregano. Yeah, she won't muck about with that. Gosh. Yeah, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you.
Fa lui. Lui è bravo, lui è bravo.
Yeah, I'm here for you.
Ci fa niente.
Yeah, don't you worry.
Quanto tempo questo ci vuole?
Questo ci vuole 20 minuti se ne va.
20 minutes, he reckons.
Yeah.
I mean, this is incredible cooking. Oh, he's creating an oven. So this is the old way to cook. You can make an oven out of a pan simply by putting a lid on and putting coals on the top. So it's almost like a semi-pressure cooker. Intense heat.
As this quick hot pot cooks, it's back to the first dish, the slow-cooked pastorale, to finish it off with some plum tomatoes and peeled potatoes.
So it's now become a meal, right? Broth, meat, potatoes. Sun's out. Look at that.
Guarda il sole.
Come on.
Guarda che tramonto, guarda.
Cooking with the shepherds feels like I've stepped back in time.
It smells incredible. Janar.
Oh my God.
As night draws in, the big moment finally arrives.
Rosa, 2 pezzi o un pezzo di carne?
2.
2. I like the way she said the 2.
First, it's the pastorale, the simple, slow-cooked stew of lamb on the bone with foraged herbs.
Tasty.
Buon appetito. Grazie mille.
Oh, Jimmy. Tasty.
Really tender. It's delicious. It's like a broth. Got so much flavour. It's absolutely exquisite.
Oh.
The meat is sweet. It's delicious. The bones have given the most amazing depth of flavour. So good. Gennaro, give me your plate, mate.
Yeah.
Now for the second dish.
So this is called arraganata.
The speedy, tender lamb hot pot, loaded with dried oregano, tomatoes and potatoes.
It's that intensity of the simple cooking, you know. When you've got few ingredients, you can really focus on it. And let's have a look at the meat first.
Oh my God.
And the meat is tender. It's really tender. It's a great dish.
I giovani di oggi questa cucina non la fanno più. Cioè, loro, i giovani di oggi credo che sanno solo le discoteche. Le nostre tradizioni dobbiamo mantenere.
You got to remember, his generation growing up as a kid, very, very different to now. Very different world. But he also wants to keep it alive. He does want to keep it alive. And I think, you know, in a way, that's what me and Gennaro are doing on this journey. You know, speaking to the grafters, you know, and the nonnas, and sort of seeing what are these things, these precious recipes, you know, these traditions.
Agnello buonissimo. Ottimo. Grazie mille.
Grazie.
It's been a real privilege to see how the shepherds of this remarkable region cook their lamb, something few chefs would ever get to see, and I'm feeling inspired.
These mountains are so beautiful. I think, you know, just to pull over, have a little cook up.
Next day, me and Gennaro couldn't wait to get back out into the mountains to cook up our very own special feast.
Look at that.
Who doesn't love a beautiful roast leg of lamb? We're going to do it inspired by our time yesterday. We've got 2 legs of lamb here, and we're going to do a fantastic stuffing. It's going to be amazing.
I want to give the great British favourite, the roast leg of lamb, a proper Italian twist. I'm going to add layers and layers of flavour with a delicious herb stuffing that will take your Sunday roast to a whole new level.
Before we do that, I'm going to do a fantastic potato dish with burnt onions. Bear with me, bear with me. I'm going to throw the onions in the ashes here, right? And we're going to leave the skin on, and we're going to burn the skin, and the skin will protect the onions. You could absolutely do this in a barbecue, but also you can do this in a traditional oven. Just get it at 200 degrees Celsius.
That's 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
And even though it's burnt on the outside, inside it will caramelise, it will be sweet, it will be delicious.
Now time to crack on with the Italian-inspired stuffing for the lamb.
We've got a tablespoon of capers, about 5 or 6 little fillets of anchovy, maybe 5 cloves of garlic. It will just disintegrate, it will be a seasoning. You will not taste the anchovy, it will just be an amazing depth of flavour. Then we're going to go on to the herbs. And I want to go back to that classic flavour that we love in Britain, which is mint. Mint and lamb, best friends. I've also got a bunch of parsley as well.
I loved how the shepherds flavoured their lamb with punchy herbs. So I'm packing my stuffing full of them for maximum fragrance.
And then we've got some more of this lovely thyme. I'll add 1 dried chilli, as much or as little as you like. Get rid of the seeds. And then, to sort of bulk it and bind it all together, I've got some bread. So what I want to do, you know, is soak it a little bit. So I'm going to get some white wine and just pour that into the bread. And if you've got stale bread, even better. And it just rehydrates the bread.
Using stale bread like this is a great trick for stretching the ingredients further.
Of course, you could do this in a food processor, and it's even easier, and it still tastes fantastic. But there is something lovely about cutting it crudely, isn't it?
It is incredible. Yeah, well, you almost ripped away all the lovely flavour in it. Do you know, Jamie, I'm going to put a little zest of lemon as well.
Yeah, go on, Jannar. Let me just show you how to really crudely butcher and butterfly open this leg of lamb. Now, your butcher will do this for you in seconds. He won't have a problem at all. What I want to do is leave this part of the bone in. Very, very simple. I'm going to go to this ball joint here and just very carefully and gently follow that bone down until it gets to that joint there. And then you can see that bone that's exposed, and very simply run the tip of your knife around the bone. As it opens out, you just go around the bone. You can use the back of the knife to pull it away, and you'll literally take it down, just keep tacking away, and you'll come up to that ball joint, and you can see it just there. Hang it over the side and just crack it, and it will just come out. Can you see that? Very, very simple. Look at that. It's beautiful to cook it with the bone in, but when you take it out, it makes it easier to carve, and it means you can flavour it and put a little bit of something special going on there. So, Gennaro, are you ready, my darling?
Yeah, it is.
I've got a nice big wadge of this. pack it into the lamb, like this.
So good. I can smell all the herbs inside here.
Chilies, anchovy, lemon zest, garlic, parsley, mint, wine. Of course, that's going to flavour it from the inside out. It's going to be amazing. Wow. Then, of course, we need to fold up and close the book, like that.
To hold the stuffing inside, tie up the lamb with a bit of string.
Go to sort of the fattest part and then get someone to hold it for you like that. Do a regular knot, but do a double knot. That stops it slipping. So go down like this, nice and tight, and then down. And we do the same again. I think it's really good to do this if you can. It feels like a bit of an adventure to do it, and it's the easiest butchery to do. So look at that, beautiful leg, stuffed with love and care.
I'm roasting my lamb over a fire, but at home you can pop it in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 Fahrenheit for about an hour.
In an oven, it's easy. And over fire, it's much more exciting. You've got to take care of it. You want to try and get the heat up the side and around it. You don't want it to just be heat from the bottom. So, you know, really having things like the rocks around here radiates the heat.
The smoke also gives it that extra flavour which is there.
It's going to be incredible.
More than incredible. I go magical.
And the only thing that could make this even better are some gorgeous roast potatoes.
So I've got nice little local potatoes here. I'm just going to peel them. Should we just do nonna style?
Nonna style, go ahead.
Let's go little clanks.
Yeah.
Around about a centimetre thick, for odds and evens.
Now for a delicious rustic twist.
The burnt onions, why would we do that? Okay, first of all, you're not going to eat the burnt onions. But that skin, that protective layer on the outside of the onions is your best friend. Check this out. When you pull these onions out, on the inside, they're going to be soft and sweet and incredible. Heaven.
Add these little beauties to your spuds. Then ramp up the flavour with rosemary, thyme, garlic and a sprinkle of salt.
Season it with a little salt and then just gently fry it. Just get it going. You fry that for about 40 minutes, slowly, slowly, until cooked and golden and delicious. Or you can even pop it in the oven if you wanted to. The wind's coming in, Gennaro.
My God, you can see.
Oh, weather, do not turn on me now. The lamb's cooking. Gennaro's going to show you a nice little trick with a stick and a bunch of random woody herbs. Things like bay, rosemary, thyme. We're going to make a little old witch's brush to baste and take care of that meat. It's going to be amazing.
You can keep your meat moist by basting with the roasting juices. But Gennaro's knocking up a fragrant marinade that, with this herb brush, will add extra flavour as well.
I put oil, lemon, a little bit of wine with a bit of salt.
Go on, have a baste.
Yeah.
Look at that, Gennaro. This is gorgeous. And it just kisses the meat with more and more flavour. And even in a regular oven at home, basting is still very normal. Just a spoon over the top. It does make a difference. Mega flavour.
After about an hour, the lamb is ready to serve. Just let it rest for 20 minutes before you carve it.
Oh, it's still blushing.
The smell of all those herbs in the stuffing is incredible.
What I love is it's kind of like really dark on the outside, but blushing and juicy on the inside. So look.
Serve with those golden, crisp and fluffy potatoes with caramelised onions.
So look, we've got the potatoes here. And those onions have gone like marmalade.
Oh, yes.
Come on, Gennaro.
Oh, my God.
The stuffing is sublime. Those onions are ridiculous. You've got that smoky flavour. So good.
This is ridiculous. If there is something better in the world, I don't want to know.
My Italian take on the classic roast leg of lamb with a knockout herb stuffing. crispy potatoes and those sweet marmalade onions. What a treat.
What do you reckon, Gennaro? Basilicata.
Yeah,
Fantastic undiscovered region, right?
the secret jewels of Italy.
I think so.
So
Such a beautiful, beautiful place.
What a lovely people we find. We're also lovely nonna.
Salute, Basilicata.
Next time,
How excited are you to be in Sicily?
What a dream! It's so beautiful!
I find out what makes the so different.
Come on, this is Sicilian afternoon tea.
Get a taste of their passion
No!
and cook pasta with a Sicilian twist.
That is a game changer.